I've been cynical, oh so cynical. Never thought somebody could save me from another fall, from another scar. But I'm all healed up, standing steady. I couldn't see colors, it was all in gray, till you showed me every shade. Now I feel like summer on a rainy day, like there's nothing left in my way. So if I ever lose my mind, I'll be fine, 'cause you're my silver lining. And if my world comes crashing down, I'll be fine, 'cause you're my silver lining. Yeah, you shine like a ray of light, cutting darkness out of my life. I'm alright again, like a child again. Now the universe is a wonder. I don't care where we go, don't care what we do, as long as you're with me and I'm with you. I couldn't see colors, it was all in gray, till you showed me every shade. Now I feel like summer on a rainy day, like there's nothing left in my way. So if I ever lose my mind, I'll be fine, 'cause you're my silver lining. And if my world comes crashing down, I'll be fine, 'cause you're my silver lining. Yeah, you shine like a ray of light, cutting darkness out of my life. I don't care where we go, I don't care what we do, just as long as I'm right there beside you. I won't ever let go, I won't ever be cruel, like the world was to me before I found you. So if I ever lose my mind, I'll be fine, 'cause you're my silver lining. And if my world comes crashing down, I'll be fine, 'cause you're my silver lining. I'll be fine, 'cause you're my silver lining. I'll be fine, 'cause you're my silver lining. When you're not here, life is insufferable. Don't be a stranger, even though we said pause. Darling, I fear pause is impossible, 'cause I want your love around no matter the cost. My heart all in pieces, I lost what I needed. My God, hate this feeling. Your heart missing something you want, all or nothing, moving on is boring. We say goodbye, and it's killing us, looking like two train wrecks, falling off the tracks. We were fine, so I mess it up. I don't know, don't know. We say goodbye, and it's not for us, feeling like we lost it, laughing out of touch. We rebound, and it's all because we don't know how to let go. All of my tears fill up a swimming pool. I'm sick of drowning in my own misery. Baby,
a little ominous for a Friday. But then so is our topic for the night. Welcome everybody. It is Friday. What's up, everyone? Let's see. Switching over. Hello. Spirit fingers. Hello. Welcome everybody to tonight's episode of Beyond the Doll. I am your host, as always, Shizu-san, in my Unicron voice. And with me, as always, for the most part, is always the very lovely Chitose. So, yeah, that was a little bit dark, right? The songs that I picked today. I did it on purpose. I really did. I didn't want to put you guys off, really, but today's topic is a little bit ominous, if you couldn't tell from the title of today's episode. Before we get into it, I kind of want to preface it a little bit, because I don't want to turn people off all of a sudden, but it's not really something that is to be taken as a bad thing for today's episode, okay? This is more like an explanation of pretty much how things work, at least in today's world. I mean, it's not the 90s anymore, but this is the way things work now, and we just have to learn how to deal with it and grow, you know, as a individual, as a doll group, as a society, or whatever. So maybe I will get a little too much on my soapbox in today's episode, so a little warning to everybody that might happen, but I'll try to refrain as much as I can and keep it more towards the topic. But of course, I am the king of tangents, and that probably won't work very well. Also, speaking of tangents, I mean, I've always gotten this self-proclaimed attitude that I am the king of tangents. I do tend to go on tangents a lot, as you guys know. And in previous episodes or previous live streams, I've always, well, not always, but I have occasionally said that this is like the court of tangents. And I kind of want to change that. I don't want to be the court of tangents, okay? And I don't want everybody to be court of tangents, because that implies that we are all like people that go onto long-winded tangents and can't stay on topic. And I feel like that is not really right for all my viewers. I think that more so just pertains to me. Maybe some of you that watch live streams or watch this on the VODs, you're like, yeah, I go off on tangents too. You know, I'm one of you or one of us or whatever. But I don't want to label everybody as the court of tangents, because some of you probably don't go on tangents. So instead, let's call it the collegiate of tangents, okay? And the reason why it's the collegiate of tangents is because as the self-proclaimed tangent king, I am holding a class on how to be tangential. And this, therefore, you are all attending the collegiate of tangents. Whether or not that, like, accurately makes sense by definition, I don't know, but that's kind of what I'm dubbing it for now, because I've realized that not everybody goes on tangents like me, so it's probably a misnomer to say that everyone that watches my channel is part of the court of tangents. So instead, you are all attending the class of how to be tangential within the collegiate of tangents. It may or may not make sense to a certain degree, but I'm sticking with it for now to see how well this sticks, okay? So, before we start on this possibly depressing topic, if it could even be labeled as such, I do want to welcome everybody that came to today's live stream. Hello, PMB Sakura, welcome to the stream. Matthew Nelson, welcome to the stream. DD the Chalice, welcome to the stream. Yoshi Plays, hello, Yoshi Plays. And Matt, welcome to the stream. You made it? Love it? Okay, great. As long as you love the mood so far, Matthew. Yoshi, welcome. It's Happy Friday. I know. Matt says, I thought I was done with college. Well, now that you're at my live stream, this is a different form of college, okay? This is a college of tangents. You are a member of the Collegiate of Tangents, at least for now, until I figure out something better. So, okay. So today's topic of Beyond the Doll is actually two different topics. If you haven't been able to tell from the title, because I didn't really know how to word it. I didn't want the title to be la 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 like so long, because it could have been really long. But it's really essentially just two topics, right? We're going to be talking about, why people don't like us. Or sorry, I probably blew out your speakers. My apologies. Basically, why not everybody is going to like you or me or us as a doll community. And then the second topic for tonight, we're going to talk about bots, because it's a recent thing that came up. Not that the term bots or the use of bots is recent, but within our community, it's becoming an ever-present thing, and especially for the smart doll community. So we will talk about that in the second half of today's stream. And in the first half, we're going to talk about why nobody likes us. or the apparent facade of why nobody likes us, or me for that matter. And I'm going to use, because I don't know everybody that watches my stream, and I especially don't know everyone that watches my stream personally. Like some of you that are on the stream that watch live or watch on the VODs, I know you personally. We've hung out personally, in person. And then a lot of you I know mainly just through YouTube. Doesn't make you any less of a friend, but I'm just saying, we don't jive like that because we don't really know each other. But would I like to get to know you one day? Absolutely. If we can meet up, that would be great. But yeah, so I'm going to use a lot of myself and examples of myself when I'm talking about this kind of stuff. So don't think that I'm full of myself by keep using myself as an example. It's just I don't want to take other people or assume other people are feeling the same way or doing the same things, So I'll just use myself as an example. And if you guys agree or disagree, let me know in the chat. Or if you guys understand or don't understand, also let me know in the chat, if it makes sense or not. Because this past week, I got into conversations with friends of mine about this topic of people not liking other people. And it's come up several times in my channel, either through videos, through live streams. I mean, we've always talked about how the community is viewed, how the community treats each other, and things like that. We've talked about it a myriad of times throughout this channel, but I really want to focus on how it's affecting people, how it affects how you see other people, or maybe, how it affects the community in general from outsiders. Now, I know this could take really, really long. It could be a big topic, but I'll try to condense it as much as I could and kind of, even though I'm the king of tangents, I want to try to make sure it's a little bit more streamlined so we can get to our second topic of the day, which will be about bots. And more specifically, what's been going on recently with the smart doll community and bots. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. But that's more of a smaller segment, because I think that will be relatively short to talk about. And the main thing is I want to talk about why people don't like people, especially within our doll hobby. And hopefully you guys will find it fun and entertaining. Hopefully you find it informative. Hopefully you don't all start unsubscribing and just leaving, which may happen. It may not. I've said it several times before, and you guys are still here, so I guess you guys are down for it. So let's get started. Okay, so how did this topic come to be in my eyes, right? Why is my window doing that? Okay. So I was talking about with friends, and they were talking to me about, my closest friends that I grew up with since I was a little kid, best friends since childhood kind of thing. And we don't hang out as much as we do nowadays anymore, because we all got our own families, our own kids, our schedules just don't jive all the time, right? Real life happens. We were talking about it, and I've definitely taken at least historically, from my personal thing, a wide turn on my life. I don't know if I want to use the word choices. It's more so what I decide to do in my spare time, basically my hobbies and things. And for the most part, throughout childhood up until adulthood, me and my closest friends have always been into the same things. We like cars, we like sports, That's pretty much it, really. Like when it really boils down to stuff, like we grew up with each other for a long time, but most of the stuff we talk about is either sports or cars or our families, right? And most of them nowadays, as we get older, we just talk about our families and our kids. But sometimes we'll tangent off into sports or whatnot. But for me, anime has always been a part of my life. And my friends know that. And they understand that, at least my reasonings of why I like anime and why I still continue to do it and why I'm a collector and I still buy statues and stuff. Like, I'm not a child anymore, but I'm an adult collector. And that's a whole nother topic. But it got onto that, and then it divulged to the whole dolls thing, right? And they were like, how's the channel doing? How's everything going with the dolls? You know what I mean? Like, they I explained it to them before when I first started doing it, and they're just pretty much checking up, like, how's things going? And I told them, things are going great, but I'm stagnant at the moment. For those of you that watch my channel, maybe you noticed this, maybe you haven't, but since the beginning of my channel, I had an exponential growth, right? And my subscribership has been going up really, really fast. Within a year, 2 years, it went up like super fast. And then it started dwindling and dwindling and dwindling to the point where I'm kind of at my present point, or my present stature right now, where I'm just pretty much holding dead even of where I was. And they were like, oh, what happened? Like, do people not like you anymore or whatever? And I said, honestly, I don't know. I really don't know, because I get a core group of people that watch me all the time, like you guys on the live stream. And I have new people that come in, some people that leave, some people that's been here for a while, take a break, things happen, right? But I've always had like somewhat of a core group. And that core group of special individuals, I'll call you all because you are special to me, that have always been here since day one or since you discovered the channel. I really appreciate everybody. I really, really do. I can't stress that enough, because you guys make what I do easier and fun. Because sometimes people get stuck in the whole numbers game. They're like, oh, I need to get more subscribers, I need to get more views and whatever. And this is talking from a strictly YouTuber perspective. Like, it's very easy to get drawn into that, right? Of I need to grow. What do I do next? I need more people. I need more numbers, blah, 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 blah. There's like this whole thing that happened, right? And I realized that actually can contribute to everything in life, not just YouTube. And it also especially contributes to our doll community as well. So how do I make this connection, right? How do I make this like more understandable to everybody that isn't a YouTuber per se? Well, I will use certain analogies from my career to kind of like show that. So first off, let's talk about myself, like my YouTube career and how it's gone. Now, most of you already know, or maybe you don't, but we're going to go over it, that in life, not everybody's going to like you. It's just the hard, honest truth. Like, you can't make everybody like you. It's impossible, because if everyone were to like you, in a sense, that would make life perfect, I guess. And then that would be boring, because then there's no differences. Everybody thinks like you. Everybody likes you for, you and whatever, or what you do. And there's no contrast. There's no differences. There's no room for growth, right? Because you grow from your adversities. And if you don't have that, then you don't really grow. You just stay stagnant. And I know I just talked about that a few minutes ago, but let me cook. Give me a second. So we know that not everyone's going to like us, and you don't need everyone to like you. But from a YouTuber's perspective, in a sense, if you want to do YouTube as a career, you kind of want everybody to like you, because the more people that like you, the more subscribers that you get, the more subscribers that you get, the more views that you get, the more views that you get, the more opportunities open. Not only for monetizing your channel, you get more money from ads, but you get collaborators or people, want to work with you. And then that brings up views, that brings up potential, advertisements or monies and things like that. So when you do YouTube like that, all those things come up, and it's very, very easy to get stuck into that numbers game and that high. That feeling. You guys all know it. Like at some point in your life, somebody has said something to you or done something for you that made you feel really good about yourself. Like whether it's a flattering comment or somebody did a nice gesture towards you, and you get that sense of euphoria. You get that high, that endorphins in your brain. And YouTube is very much like that. Like when you see those, because I don't see you in person, for the most part, every YouTuber sees you online as a number, either a subscriber or a commenter and a screen name, because we don't really get to meet in person. Now, some of you I do meet in person, but for the most part, a lot of you I see just online. So you get that high when you just see the numbers keep going up, and it keeps going up. And then the more people comment, it's like, oh, everybody wants to talk to me. They think I know something or whatever, right? And it's a very addictive feeling, just like any addiction out there, whether it be, God forbid, drugs or, high from being, top of your class and always getting awards or being the best at your sport. You always get that kind of endorphin high. And YouTube kind of gives that to you also in a way by showing those numbers and those subscribers. And I admittedly will say it was very hard for me in the beginning to understand that and adjust to that, because I honestly started my career in YouTube as just for fun. And I stick to the fact that ultimately, at the end of the day, it really is just for fun. Because I have, and I said it many times, I have a full-time job that pays me well enough to provide for myself, my 2 kids, my wife, and to live, I want to say, an average life, right? I don't have fancy things. It may seem like I do because I have all these dolls and they are expensive and are a luxury item, but I spend most of my non-essential money on the dolls, and I don't really do much else outside of that. So it really depends on where you spread your money, right? Like I don't have fancy clothes or, well, I kind of have one fancy car, but it's really old. Like it's not like a brand new thing. And like, most of my money is just spent on my hobbies, not my clothing, not my other material things, not from going on extravagant vacations, really. Like I don't do any of that stuff. So it's not tied up in those things. So, I consider myself a very average or medium income kind of person. So I don't really need YouTube money or anything like that to support me. That's basically what I'm saying, is I don't need any of that to support me. It's mainly for fun. But when you first get started, even though you come into that just saying like, oh, it's just for fun, once you see those numbers start going up, and once you see like, like YouTube's like, oh, they send you these emails, but like, you did great. You earned this many people or that many people. Keep it up. You're going to get to this goal or something. And they keep egging you on with those emails or those messages. And then not only that, you get people that comment and say really nice things about you, which is so awesome. And I really appreciate everything. But it gives you that high, right? So then you get hooked on that feeling and you just crave more and you just want more. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because the same thing applies to the doll community as of right now. Because most of you, if not all of you, don't live close by to other doll people. Like, even though, according to like some of the dots that Danny Chu shows on his live purchases things, there's a lot of dots around my area. I don't know any of those people. Like I never meet them. Like I don't know any of them. And I randomly come across some of them during conventions, but I don't really know them. It's not like we hang out like after a con and go eat lunch or dinner or whatever, which would be awesome, but I don't. Like I don't know them. So as a doll community, as fellow members of the doll family, if you're in that segment like me where you don't have all those people around you that you can confide in and talk to all the time, most of the time, the only time you get those interactions is either something like this, like a YouTube live stream, or just YouTube videos in general where you could comment and post, or you get those highs from like going to a doll meetup or going to a convention where there's going to be a doll meetup and you're super excited, right? just like a YouTuber, you're super excited to see those numbers coming. Those numbers representing all the doll people. Like when you go to a con, you're like, oh, that person has a doll. That person has a doll. You go to the doll booth and you see a whole bunch of people with dolls, right? Because they're at the doll booth hanging out, talking to each other, talking to the people that are running the doll booth and things like that. So you get this incredible amount of high. And you're just like, this is so cool. So many people like me. So many people just like me. And you get this high and you talk to all these people and you meet all these people and it's fun. It legitimately is fun. And then you try to make friends and maybe you do make friends. Maybe you make long-term lasting friends from these experiences. But sometimes you don't. Sometimes you meet them and they're like, hey, how's it going? Hey, things are great. We're doing good. And then, yeah, let's hang out or message me and you exchange info and then you never speak again. Kind of thing. And it's like, oh, well, I thought they were my friends. I thought maybe we could have been friends or whatever. And that's what I mean. Not everybody's going to like you. Not everybody's going to jive. And I feel like when that happens, when you get those instances where you meet people and you get really excited and you get your hopes up and everything, it's a good feeling. But I don't want that to deter anybody when you meet somebody or you come across somebody that you think you might have hit it off or you might have had a good relationship with, and then like it just kind of crashes. I don't want that to deter anyone. Now I know what I'm saying is probably common knowledge. You're all like, yeah, we knew that she was on. Sometimes I feel like I need to say it. Sometimes I feel like people don't really understand it until it's said out loud. And because I run into it a lot. Like some individuals that I talk to, I have great conversations with, and I'm like, oh, this is so much fun. And then like a day or two later or a week or a month or however long it takes, I'll either message that person or that person will message me and they're like, hey, I met you at whatever, or we talked or whatever, and I hope I'm not bothering you and this and that. And, I wasn't sure if you would want to talk to me or whatever. And I see that and I'm like, the courage it takes for this individual to reach out to me or any other doll person. Like, I'm not trying to say I'm full of myself, like, God forbid they reach out to Shizu-san. No, I just mean like the courage it takes to just message someone and be like, hey, we met at that thing. Do you remember? It takes a lot of courage. And it's a lot of putting yourself out there, trying to meet new people, trying to make friends in this niche of a hobby that is growing, but it's still a niche. Putting yourself out there and basically making yourself vulnerable to this individual, whoever it might be, trying to reach out and connect. And when they don't respond in kind or not even at all, it hits hard because maybe you're the type of person that doesn't go out, a lot or, has a hard time getting along with people or just acclimating to people because you're not used to it or you're just shy or you have high anxiety or whatever the reasons may be. After that initial sense of getting that courage worked up and putting yourself out there and then getting denied like that or just ghosted, so to speak, it could be pretty debilitating. And I want to be here to tell you, don't let that get you down, man. Like, it happens to everybody. Even the most popular people will get let down by people that they even looked up to at times. And even Danny Chu has said himself, when he made that post, like I think it's like a year ago or something, he's like, never meet your heroes because they might not turn out to be the hero that you think that they are. Sometimes it's better to just keep them in that fantasy world of, well, he's the hero and I don't really want to destroy that image or break that glass window, so to speak. We got an ad coming up in 15 minutes. 15 minutes. Oh my God. 15 seconds. Just letting you guys know. I'm going to get a drink of water real quick while the ad plays and you guys hit that skip button and then we'll continue. All right. Ad should be up. You guys should be able to hit that skip button. So I don't want people to let that destroy you inside. Like, it's hard. Trust me, it is hard. And it's hard to get over that feeling. It really is. It's very hard to get over that feeling. But if you let that keep you down, and if you let that experience stop you from putting yourself out there again to meet more doll people, then what's going to happen is you're never going to meet doll people, and you might never meet your bestie, your doll bestie. You know what I mean? You got to keep trying. And not everyone is going to like you. It's just the unfortunate truth of life. But that doesn't mean nobody is going to like you. You just got to keep trying. And as hard as it is, and I hear it from a lot of other doll people that I talk to, whether I meet you at conventions, whether I meet you at a panel that I do, or a doll meetup, or even sometimes like I'll just get direct messages from people on Instagram or, on X, just saying, hey, I watch your channel, and, you give me the courage to buy a doll or go to my first doll meet or things like that. And, that really inspires me that like I'm helping in some way, like my fellow doll family members. Like, I just feel like we are out there and you are not alone. We just got to keep doing our due diligence as the doll community, as the doll family, to keep reaching out to those individuals that may be a little hesitant or a little filled with anxiety or just a little shy. Show them that there is a safe space to explore this hobby and to do this hobby. Now, in my personal experience, going back to me and showing you examples of myself. So one of the things, and when I was doing the research for this, and I call it research, which it really shouldn't be because it's my own life. But when I was like looking up stuff for this, it's so cringe now. And I think every YouTuber will tell you that it's so cringe to do this and it's not fun, but I'm going to do it. So hold on, let me show, where is it? Okay. So we're going to change to our presentation mode. All right. So back in the day when I first started YouTube, it all started with one video, which is this one. And I think chat is blocking the way. So give me a second. So this was the first video. This is the first video I ever did. It says, look at that. It says 8 years ago, Smart Doll Chitose Shirasawa unboxing full video. How many people in the live chat have seen this video? Or at least know of it? Has anybody? This was my very first video that I uploaded. 645,000 views. That's so crazy. I didn't think something like that would get so many views. And that really destroys all my videos now. Like, I get nothing near that now. This is my one and only greatest video I ever released. And I don't even talk in it. You don't even see me in the video. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe people just don't want to see my ugly face. You don't even see me in the video, which is the funniest thing. And another thing that's in this video, if you look in the comment section of this video, it's really funny. If you look in the comment section of this video, there's actually a discussion or debate in the comment section on whether or not the person in the video who you only see the hands, because you never see my face and I don't talk, so you never hear my voice. There was actually a discussion in there on whether or not I was a guy or a girl. And they couldn't tell from my hands whether or not I was a guy or a girl. Now, I've been told that I have pretty feminine looking hands. Like, they're very, like, I have like very long fingers and very thin fingers. So I don't know if that really speaks female to some people. But I thought it was just really funny that there was actually a debate in the chat or in the comment section on whether or not I was a guy or a girl. But this video is the whole reason why I decided to try to do YouTube. Because a friend of mine said, hey, you should try YouTube. And I was like, I'll just I'll try it and I'll throw a video up. And I threw this video up and it started getting views astronomically. Like, I'm talking, views were coming in out the woodworks for this video. When I first posted it, like, after a day, it was like 100. After a week, it was a couple hundred. After like a month, it was in the thousands. Like, it grew so fast. Now, obviously, it's dropped off over time. But like in the beginning, it just rose so fast. I think after a year, it probably was somewhere at 100,000 after a year. Like, and for me, that's a lot. For big time YouTubers, that's like nothing. But for me, as a first video ever upload, that was a lot. Like, I was on an endorphin high. I was like, people love me. People want to see more. They love it. And I just kept, I started, doing more unboxing videos. And if you look through my channel's history, you'll see them. There's like a couple unboxings in there. And then at some point, I'm going to cover this part of it. At some point, I decided to do something different. And I was like, let me start a new series. So I started this series that I called Doll Life, right? Because I thought people would be into it. I thought like people would be like, yeah, this is cool. So I started this new series called Doll Life. And the intention of this series was to educate people about the hobby, right? And at this point in time, 7 years ago, there wasn't many doll YouTubers at the time. Like I said this on my channel many times. There's like people like Denali Wind, Archangeli, that were doing doll videos, at least for vinyl dolls. Let me make that clear. There's a lot of YouTubers back then that were doing resin, but at least for vinyl, there was next to none. And these two individuals at least had some vinyl content. And then the other vinyl dolls that you'll see out there were just random unboxings. It's like people that did an unboxing video just once, and that's it. They never posted anything ever again. It's just one video. And you'll find like a lot of those. And so I was like, okay, well, it was really hard for me to learn how to get into this hobby, learn where to buy things, where to do things, you know, how to get in touch with other people. It was so hard finding the research. And I was like, let me just put it out there, and maybe it'll help other people, and maybe it'll be a guide for other people. And I remember this video, as you can see, only has 3.7 thousand views, right? Which is not a lot for 7 years ago, because this video became so controversial. There were people, so if you look in the comment section, people were, relatively nice in the comment section. But on forums, if you could still find the old forum posts, people were like, who's this poser? He got all this information wrong. He did this wrong. He did that wrong. Like, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Like, a lot of people were putting me down. It was so disheartening. So remember, I came from this first video of Chitose unboxing, right? 100,000 views after a year. You know what I mean? Like, going, like, in my eyes, viral, even though it wasn't necessarily viral. It was like just growing exponentially. People always commenting, this is cool, blah, blah, whatever. And then I took that next step. I took that next leap to try something different, to try something new. And it bombed. I didn't get many views, and the small encouragement that I got on the comment section, which was nice, but I got more debilitating comments on Facebook groups, on doll forums, which is funny, those doll forums don't even really exist anymore. So I don't know if you could find them, but if you could, that would be really interesting. I would like to see it again. But it was horrible. And I didn't know if I wanted to continue on with it. I was so devastated. I spent all this money on new YouTube gear because that first video, that Chitose unboxing video, I filmed it on my phone. So it wasn't that great. But when I did this first video of Doll Life episode 1, What is an Anime Doll? I bought all new gear. I got a new DSLR camera. I got new lighting. I built a new computer. I got new editing software. Like, I went the whole 9 yards because I came off of that high. Just like the rest of my doll family that goes to doll meetups, that goes to doll conventions. You get that high from meeting all these people. And then you want to continue that relationship. You want to keep on going because you had so much fun. And then you kind of get turned down, or you get lost in the ether, and nothing becomes of it. And you feel so devastated. But see, if you don't keep on moving like I did, if you don't keep trucking, you won't get to where you actually want to be. And I see myself right now in my channel, even though my channel is not crazy big. Like, I'm at 5,000 something subscribers, right? That's not big. In the grand scheme of things, that's not big. You have other YouTubers out there that are in the millions, or even medium-sized YouTubers who are at least 100,000, right? Like, I'm nowhere near that. But I'm super excited and super happy for where I am right now because I have a core group of friends that are always showing up to my live stream. Thank you guys. Core group of friends that I meet at conventions that I probably wouldn't have known at conventions if I didn't have this channel, because a lot of them have said, I've seen your channel. Oh, it's so awesome to meet you. And they became like really good friends of mine now. So you gotta keep trucking, my doll family members. It's hard sometimes, and life will hit you and knock you down, but you got to keep going. So after this debacle of The Doll Life. I didn't really do many episodes. I think all in all, I did like 9 episodes. And then I decided this is not really working too well. Let me try something else. So then I moved on and I tried something else. And this is funny. Okay, this next step is pretty funny. So I tried doing something of a news channel, right? My core members, you'll probably remember this. If you're new to my channel, you have no idea what this is. But I tried a news channel called 3 Minute Thursday, where the idea was I would just give out the news, kind of like how I do now in Doll Symposium, but I'm limiting it to only 3 minutes. And the idea was if I do a weekly show every Thursday for 3 minutes, it doesn't take up much of my time because it's only 3 minutes long. And I'll be able to give out whatever news I can find really quickly. And it's short because a lot of YouTubers, they'll tell you, like when you start on YouTube, don't do long format. Audience's attention only lasts the first 10 seconds of the video. If you don't hook people at the first 10 seconds, they won't stay and they'll leave and your channel will get destroyed or whatever. And yeah, maybe there's some relevancy to that. I don't know. I didn't really care at the time. And I was like, let me just try this thing out. Because I watched another YouTuber that had something called 2 Minute Tuesdays. And it was just like a little factoid they would give every Tuesday of something, right? So I was like, oh, I could do that. But I don't want a direct copy. I'll do something else. I'll do 3 Minute Thursdays. How about that? Because that rhymes. And so I did this. And this was my very first 3 Minute Thursday on July 27, 2017. It's my very first one. And it's so weird to look at it now. Like I watched it and I was like, oh, that's bad. That's cringe. Like everything was so bad, but people still watched it, which I'm so grateful for. And that lasted for quite a number of years. And after a while, it turned from 3 Minute Thursday to like 5 Minute Thursday, 10 Minute Thursday, half an hour Thursday, an hour Thursday. It got really bad. There was no reason to call it 3 Minute Thursdays anymore, which is why we have the Doll Symposium now. But I kept trucking with that. And, in all honesty, it was hard doing 3 Minute Thursdays. To do a pre-recorded video every week from somebody that has never done YouTube before. Like I was all brand new trying to learn this stuff. It was hard because that 3 minute video actually took me several hours to do because I would do the research, which took maybe a couple minutes to an hour. Then I would do the recording, and to get it in 3 minutes was hard because sometimes you'd have a lot of news, and to fit it in that 3 minute time frame I was trying to keep was really hard. And then I would mess up. I'd have to do another retake, and then I would mess up. I'd do another retake. I did so many retakes, and then I had to edit them to make it all cohesive and make it fit into 3 minutes. And then I had to make a thumbnail somehow, which I was trying to learn how to do thumbnails. And all of my earlier thumbnails are pretty bad. Even my thumbnails nowadays are pretty bad. They're pretty lackluster. Like they're not very expressive because I'm just not good at thumbnails, man. Like thumbnails is probably the hardest thing to do, to be honest. To make a picture that is definitely going to grab people's attention at first sight is actually really difficult, in my opinion. I don't know. Maybe you guys think it's easy, but it's really hard. And but this show, it's what got me recognition. I've gotten a lot of people that I've met from conventions. I met at doll meets that have recognized me from doing these videos and have said a lot of kind words to me. So if I let that first trash of a video for Doll Life episode 1 through 9 like define my career, I would never make it to where I am. And it's the same thing, for you guys as doll family members. When you live in an area where there's not many doll people around you, and the only time that you can get doll consumption is just seeing other people's posts on Instagram, reading other people's things on Facebook, or looking at pictures on Twitter, or watching random YouTubers like myself, it fills that need, but it doesn't fill the desire to have that human connection, right? And when you go to these events, when you work up that courage, because it's hard to work up that courage, because this hobby is a niche. Like this is not like getting into football where like millions of people are into it and you could just like find someone everywhere you go in a way. It's a very niche hobby, and finding other people that are willing to that not only collect this or is part of this hobby, but finding people that are willing to let you know they're also part of it, because a part of this hobby too is a lot of it is hidden. Some people are too shy or too afraid to let people know that they're in this hobby. Like, and even for me, I was always scared that my coworkers will find out that I do this and what will they think of me and things like that. Like, there's always that fear with this hobby. And what I've learned throughout all the years is that you can't be afraid, because one, it won't help the hobby grow. But two, it doesn't help you as a person to always be afraid. Like, you need to grow, and we all need that human connection. So when you go to these conventions and you get that high of meeting like-minded people, or you go to these doll meets and you get that high of meeting like-minded people that are just like you, that love this hobby, and then turns out they're not like just like you. Not everybody, at least. Some of them hate vinyl dolls. Like, sometimes it's unfortunate. Sometimes you'll go to doll meetups and the room is split in half. Vinyl doll people on one side and resin people on the other side. And then somewhere in the middle are the go-betweens, like people that collect like Momoko dolls or Barbies or pull-ups and stuff like that, where are not necessarily vinyl, they're plastic. They're not necessarily resin because they're plastic. You get that little weird area. And what we're trying to do is make everybody like kind of at least respect each other, for what they like. And so sometimes you'll go and you meet these people and, you'll hit it off, at least in the convention or at the doll meet. You'll hit it off and you'll be like, hey, this is so cool, blah, blah, blah. And you'll talk for half an hour, maybe an hour, or whatever it is. And like I said before, you'll be like, hey, let's exchange like socials. Maybe we'll hit you up sometime or whatever. And then it never happens, right? I can say for sure in my experience, it definitely doesn't happen that much in my realm, because I guess more than the average collector, I have more people asking me like through direct messages of stuff, and maybe that's because I put myself out there on YouTube, so they want to contact me, and I'm always up for that stuff. I'm always up to talk to people, but I get so many messages that I unfortunately I can't get to all of them. But I try to, and it should be easier for me to try to, because it's not like, again, I'm not like million subscribers, so I'm not getting millions and millions of messages. But I get a healthy amount where sometimes it's hard to keep up, and if I missed your message, I do apologize. I try to get to them all. But that, it just happens. It's just how things go. But don't let that deter you. Keep going, keep trying, because you never know that doll bestie is out there. But you will never find them if you quit at the very first time that somebody rejects you, because it will inevitably happen if it hasn't happened yet. And it's happened to me plenty of times. I can't name names because that would be very rude and very mean. But there are other doll people out there that are very high in the community, whether it be a YouTuber, an Instagrammer, somebody that's very well known in a Facebook group. There have been people that I've reached out to be a part of this show as a guest to share their experiences and things like that. And a lot of them have rejected me. Case in point, we haven't had many guests on lately, other than what I like to consider my core group of friends now. Like Tempest Strife in the chat is a very good friend of mine now. I consider us very good friends, at least, right, Tempest? And Anna and Corey and Batman Jackson, Kitten Cat Shop, like, these are people that I've met through YouTube, and now we're like pretty good friends. And I know a lot of you, we are the ones that I met in person. We are becoming good friends. It's just, we live such a great distance from each other. It's a little bit harder to kind of like get together. Whereas like individuals like Tempest and Kitten Cat Shop, they live relatively, I guess you could say, closer to my vicinity. So it's easier to kind of group up. But you won't make those connections or won't make those friends if you don't keep trying. So that's what I want to let you guys know. And that's the whole reason of saying not everybody's going to like you, because it is a truth. It is just life, and if you look at another example is like Danny Chu. You look at Danny Chu, not everybody likes him. Not everybody agrees with what he says or how he runs his business. You'll see him post about it all the time. And whether you're one of the people that like him, don't like him, or, you know, are on the fence or whatever, or indifferent about it, you know, the truth of the matter is that he doesn't let it get to him, or at least it does get to him, but he keeps on moving forward. And that's why he has all these new dolls that are coming up that are, I guess you can say, inspirational or inspired, you know, like Never Say Never, you know, and Against All Odds, and, you know, uh, what's the other ones? There's so many sayings. I can't even remember all of them because these dolls have so many sayings that, like, it's hard to keep up with all of them. But my point being is that he doesn't let it get it down, and his business is still flourishing. You know, it's not like all of a sudden Smart Dolls just stopped selling altogether and now his company's bankrupt. You know what I mean? Like, so if you want to use that as an inspiration or whatever, you know, that's also something. You just can't let the naysayers get to you. And for each individual out there, there's a level of difficulty to get over that. Not everybody gets over things as easily as the next. Some people, it happens instantly. Some people, it takes time. But my message to you guys out there, whoever's watching, is take as much time as you need to get over whatever the downs are in your life that's happened. Whatever the time you need to take it. But once you finish taking that time, get back out there, man. Because once you get back out there and start trying again, that's when you might meet that special person or special group of people that you can call, you know, doll friends or doll family or whatever. But you gotta keep trying. And I know it's hard in a hobby like ours where we are so spread out throughout the world, and in some places so spread thin that you can't physically meet another person because it's just that big of a distance. You know, it makes it that much more harder. And that's why you gotta be brave. You gotta work up that courage, man. And it's tough. It's tough. It's easy to say, but it is tough to do. And I can say that from experience because I wasn't born this way, man. I wasn't born like being outgoing. I'm still not. I'm pretty much still an introvert. I'm an extrovert introvert, like, or introvert extrovert. Like, I'm very much so an introvert, but I try my best to put myself out there because I feel like if I do, that's how I can get more people into the hobby. And if I can get more people into the hobby, you know, at least initially, this is how it all started. If I can get more people to like this hobby and get people into, like, an enabler, essentially, then I'd have more friends, you know, and that's ultimately, you know, what I want to do. Like, I just want to make more friends in this hobby. Like, I want to be able to chat and explore and hang out and have more friends that like the things that I like, rather than being parts of groups where I kind of like something and just kind of pretend to like other things that are attached to it just so I can make friends. But, you know, I'm pretty over that now in my older age. It's just like, I'm just going to be me. And if people like me for me, great. And if people don't like me, whatever. Because that's just what's going to happen. And, you know, you guys got to do the same. You got to keep moving too. So some more examples. So here's another one that I think is even more funny, is that in my YouTube career. So I'm coming off of that high, right, of doing this $645,000 view video to going to this destroyed series of doll life, and then doing the 3-minute Thursdays that kind of get me back up there where I'm making some kind of views. Like, this one's 542 views, which again is not a lot, but I guess it's pretty decent for a small channel like mine. I guess it's okay. But my views have, you know, steadily nowadays, I'm like kind of like within 150 to 200 views a video, which, if you're trying to make YouTube your career, is abysmal. But for someone like me, who I'm not making it a career, I'm just doing it for fun, this is great. I don't mind it. It's fine. But then I tried something else. I tried doing something else, and I got a lot of inspiration from watching other YouTubers like Casey Neistat. And I decided to do something called the Let's Travel series. This series is pretty interesting. So I tried to do a vlog of me going out to conventions, going out taking doll pictures, just hanging out or whatever. And this is the very first video I ever did with that. It's called Let's Travel with Mirai, episode 1. 13,000 views 7 years ago. Essentially, I videotaped myself walking around New York City with my doll for everyone to see. I was so scared in this video. I was so scared. I was shaking like a leaf because here I am, this quote unquote grown man, walking through New York City holding a vinyl doll 7 years ago when the smart doll boom wasn't really that big. It was just getting started. Nobody knew what these dolls were. Nobody had any clue what they were. Man, I got so many harsh comments, so many side eyes, so many people laughing at me. It was abysmal. I had the worst time filming this video. Like the worst time. Like, oh my God, the comments I got from people, the stares, the smirks, the laughing. Oh my God, it was bad. But out of all of that, there are about a good handful of people, maybe 2 or 3 people, I guess you could say, that came up to me that were super interested and wanted to know more. And that is what made it all the better. It was just those 2 to 3 people. Like, that's all it took for me to be like, I'm going to keep doing this. Because the more people I get into this, the better, right? Now, what makes this video funny, and I didn't even know this happened. Danny Chu is the one that pointed it out to me. He's the one that pointed it out to me. So he sent me a message. I forgot how long after this video. I think it may have been half a year, like 6 months after this video aired. And Danny Chu sent me a message and he's like, hey man, you might want to see this. And somebody wrote a news article about me. Dude, I'm not even kidding. I saved the news article on my phone, and then when I switched phones, I lost it. And now I can't find it. So whoever you finds this news article, please send it to me. I will give you a reward. But somebody wrote a news article about me and this video, this Let's Travel with Mirai. And I forgot exactly what it was that they said, but the general gist of the article was was American man, because it's a Japanese article, and I translated to Google Translate to English, but it says American man goes on date with doll in New York City. like the article literally says that this man is going on a date with a doll in New York City, and then it references the smart doll company, right? Because I think I said in the video somewhere that it is a smart doll or whatever, right? And then they're like, look, man takes doll to the park to take pictures, and like it was so ridiculous and embarrassing. It was like essentially they were attacking me, right? Like they were saying, look at this funny man, he's so ridiculous, this person is a joke, all this other kind of stuff, right? And it's the funniest. Like, at first when I read it, I was like, this is cool, and then at second I was like, wait a minute, no, that's not, they're making fun of me. So like I've always kept it in my back burner, and I always saved it, and then I lost it, and I for the life of me, I can't find it now, and it's just really funny. And then I don't know if I got these 13,000 views because of the people that watched that read that article and then decided to go find this video and watch it to make fun of it, but it is definitely I think it's my highest view Let's Travel video. And I'm pretty sure that article pretty much helped me, which goes to show that good news or bad news is the best news. Because whether it's good or bad, it still helps your reputation. Whether or not your reputation will be a good one or a bad one, that varies. But any publicity is good publicity, so to speak. So I got like so many views on this video because of that news article. All right, I'm going to take a break. Ad's going to play in 15 seconds. So I'm going to take a water break and then we'll continue. For those of you that have YouTube Premium and you don't see any ads, you're just watching me drink water at this point. Okay. So ad is up. You guys should be able to hit the skip button. Hopefully you're all back by now. Okay, before I move on with this story, a lot of you are talking in chat, so let me address some of the comments in chat, because I see a bunch of you typing and I haven't been able to keep up because I got so ingrained with my stories. So Matthew Nelson says no dots even close to where I'm at, and I'm assuming that's referring to the Smart Doll map of sales. Tempest says I'm here, tired though. I know, but I don't know if I ever watched. Well, you don't have to watch it, Tempest. I'm just saying, like, some of you may have seen this video, because I mean, it's inevitable. If you search up doll stuff, it'll probably, like, if you search up BJDs, it'll probably be one of the on the first page at least, because it has like 600 something thousand views. Matthew Nelson said he's seen that one. Nice. Tempest says you went so hard so fast. I did. Like my views and my subscribers went up so lightning fast. It gave me that sense of like, oh my god, you're so cool, and that euphoria. And then it slowly crashed down because then it didn't grow anymore after that. But yeah, it did. It rose so quickly. It was pretty crazy. And part of the reason why it rose so quickly is because there wasn't many YouTubers at the time. Again, I said there was only two, Denali Win and Archangeli, that were kind of doing vinyl doll stuff, but not really, because, you know, Archangeli did a lot of vinyl. Denali Win was mostly for resins and did occasionally a vinyl thing. But I think it's just lack of people doing videos. And now that there are so many doll YouTubers now, I guess people just, again, and this goes back to the topic, maybe not everybody likes me because I see a lot of doll YouTubers now. They're getting more subscribers and more views than I am. And I at first I was a little bit jealous of that, but like, how come they can do it and I can't? But ultimately I'm fine with where I am now, actually. I actually don't want to grow any bigger, because I feel like if I grow any bigger, I won't be able to live up to expectations. So if I keep the expectations low, I'll be okay and I'll never be disappointed. But but it is pretty interesting. There's so many doll YouTubers nowadays, and whoever is watching these videos, whether it's you guys that are in the live chat or other people that lurk, or people that don't even know my channel exists, right? You know, they have found an outlet that they really enjoy, and whether it be me or some other person, it really doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, it's good for the community. The fact that there are so many doll YouTubers to begin with, when there were only two that I could really think of when I started, is amazing. That just goes to show that this doll hobby is getting bigger, and there's interest, and there's more people that are getting into it, and that's fantastic. And I love that idea. But I can't be the only source. Like, you know what I mean? Like, not everybody's gonna like my content. And I've had people say that to my face, actually, at doll meetups and doll conventions. I've had people say literally to my face that they're like, yeah, I've seen you, but I don't really watch your stuff. Like, I like this other person. And while that may sound harsh, I do want to preface that these people were very nice to me. Like, they basically said that, you know, your content, or your long form content, or your lack of staying on topic because you're so tangent, is not really for me and doesn't really suit my watching needs, because not everybody can sit through 2 to 3 hours of a stream. You know what I mean? Some people just want boom, boom, get to the point kind of thing. But all of them have told me that, hey, now that I met you in person and we got to talk, you know, you're pretty cool, and I kind of like you, and I'll watch your stuff, you know, later. And, you know, or I'll give your stuff another try. You know what I mean? And maybe that's just being them exchanging niceties or whatever. But still, it was really nice that the way that they approached it, you know, and I really do appreciate that, because I do understand that not everyone's going to like my kind of content, especially being the tangent king. Not everybody can put up with that stuff. Not everybody likes tangents. Some people just want A to B. I want to know the answer to this. You give me the answer within a few minutes. Great, I'm gone. I'll move on to the next video. A lot of people like that. So, but me, I'm more comfortable with long form content. I'm more comfortable just spewing and talking until I can't talk no more. And if you guys are down for that, then more power to you, and I appreciate every single one of you. But not everybody's into that kind of stuff. Let's see. Marie Velez, welcome to the stream, Marie. What's going on? PB Sakura. Oh, he says hello to Marie. Matthew says, quick and to the point. I mean, you know, I think I remember when you posted that was when I was talking about thumbnails, and that's, you know, really that's what people want. They want something that grasps their attention, gets them hooked, and then when the video starts, if you're not hooking them within the first couple seconds, then they're not going to watch the rest of it. Like most people, even myself included, sometimes when I just want an answer, like how to fix my sink, I don't want a guy telling me his whole life story of why he wants to fix the sink before he actually fixes the sink and shows me how to do it. I get like that too, man. So I understand when people say they just want short videos, quick and sweet to the point. I get that, because when I want something like that, that's what I look for. But when I want to just hang out and chill and talk to people, long form content is what I like. And you know, I watch and listen to a lot of podcasts lately, and you know, I like long form content. That's just me, and that's what I just keep on doing, at least for now. Let's see. Matthew says people at work see I print dolls and usually go cute. Well, that's nice. At least they're being nice about it, and they're not being all cross-eyed to you. So it's always a good thing. At least they're, you know, giving it a chance, or at least not like outwardly putting you down like instantly. So it's always a good thing, you know, when people at least make that effort. Matt says, can I ramble about my experiences with my last few months making doll content on YouTube and experience with YouTube and the doll community as a whole? May or may not be interesting or factual. Don't want to clutter up chat with my sickly ramblings. You can, Matt, and you can put it in chat if you want and discuss it in chat if you want. But what I would like to do, if you're up for it, we can actually get you on as a guest, and we can actually talk about it and let other people chime in if you're interested in that kind of stuff. Let me know. But if you're more comfortable just doing it in chat, I'm okay with that. Plug away in chat. I'm fine. Tempest says meme are shared regularly. Listen, there are a lot of memes out there, and I'm sure I fit a lot of them. Marie Velez says, some of my closest friends today I met through this doll hobby, and it took me some serious courage to go to my first meetup. Yeah, it really does. It does. It takes a lot of courage to go to your first meetup. And I want to say that this hobby in particular takes a lot of courage, right? Because in my previous example of talking about football, you know, there's a lot of people that like football. So, you know, you have your pick of the litter, right? Like you could talk to one person and they may not like what you have to say, but you could talk to another person right next to them and they do. Like there's just more people to bounce ideas off of. Whereas our community is so small and so niche that like it's almost as if like you try to talk to someone and they won't talk to you, that it's like, oh, well, now I have nobody, because it almost feels that way because there's not many of us, right? So when you lose one, so to speak, you know, if you lose one potential friend, it's like, oh, where am I going to find another one? Because there's not many of us to begin with. It's like, so it takes a lot of courage. And sometimes you want to put your best foot forward. And sometimes people will even say something's fake or try to lie just to make other people like them. And that may work for a little bit, but it won't work long term. So you just got to be yourself and just, you know, hope that people like you for you. And considering that we both are in the same hobby, like you and the other individual that you're speaking to, and that you both like dolls, there's a higher percentage of a chance that you guys may hit it off. You know what I mean? Rather than you trying to like talk to somebody and explain to somebody about this hobby that has no interest, and, you know, hopefully trying to convert them kind of thing, so that you guys can hang out and talk about it more, you know, that's much more difficult. But yeah, I mean, you know, it does. I feel like, and with the negative stigma that is around this hobby of whether or not people make fun of you because it's like, you're an adult, you shouldn't be playing with toys or dolls, or you're a guy, you shouldn't be playing with dolls. Like there's so much negative stigma about this hobby that people are just uneducated on the finer points of it and why we actually like it, that it makes it that much more harder to, you know, to ground up that courage to move forward and talk to people. So yeah, you're entirely right, Marie. It takes up some serious courage to do so. And in kind, when somebody walks up to you and somebody has the courage to walk up to you, you know that feeling because you've done it yourself. So, you know, give them the benefit of the doubt, hear them out, see what they have to say. Don't disregard them, right off the bat. Matthew Nelson says, I got my sister into dolls. She said she was too old for them. She just asked if I knew of a boy doll of the same size as the ones that she has. But no, that's great. I mean, you got your sister into dolls, and if she wants a boy doll, that one's going to be a little bit more tougher because, as you know, Matthew, there's not as much options for boy dolls. And if she wants her own specific one, I think her best choice is probably to get a Dolphy Dream choice and just build the one that she likes. If no collaborated character or pre-existing character meets her needs or her aesthetics, probably Dolphy Dream choice, which you can find proxies out there like Japan Doll Direct that will do it for you. And you just give them the options. But maybe that'll be good for her. Who knows? But it's awesome that you converted another person. So Marie says, "Oh no, dear God," which is in reference to the "Let's Travel with Mirai" thing. I'm pretty sure. I'm so sorry this happened to you. I'm so glad that you laugh it out. It was rough, Marie, filming that video. It was really rough. But I stuck with it because there was a couple individuals that were really interested and wanted to talk to me about it, and that was cool. That was actually really cool. But I wouldn't have met them if I didn't try to do this thing, right? So you always got to try. Matthew says, probably a better date than my last one, LOL. But Matthew, it wasn't a date. I was just trying to show people, that you could take these dolls out and do stuff with them and have fun, and with a little inspiration of Casey Neistat in there, just trying to do this vlog style video, trying to be different because nobody, I can confidently say, and prove me wrong, people, but I can confidently say that nobody has made a doll video of themselves out in public, walking around town, just blatantly with a doll that's 2 feet tall, in a sea of people. Now, I didn't choose some backwater, rural town with a population of 50. I went to the busiest, most congested city on the planet Earth. Well, at least people say that New York City is. And I went on a Saturday in the midday. So there's a lot of people. And I think I'm the only person, and prove me wrong, people, that has ever done that. Went into a major metropolitan area with a gigantic 2 foot tall doll, just walking around town, showing it off like I won the lottery or something. It was, oh man, and the stares, the yelling, the laughing, it was crazy. But it was a learning experience, and like I said, those 2 to 3 people made all the difference of me wanting to do it some more. And I kept doing it. And I haven't done it. I honestly haven't done it for a while. Not because I don't want to, but because every time I do it, I'm not looking forward to the editing process. Of editing the videos and putting them together is so much work. And I'm so addicted to this live stream content where I don't have to edit anything. It's like thinking about editing a live vlog like that is just so hard. It's a lot of work. So I haven't done one in a while, but I may do another one maybe in the future, hopefully. I don't know. I'm not sure. Matthew says, finally got around to sending you a couple pics of girls I've printed. Okay, I'll take a look after the stream, Matthew. Marie Velez says, hey, Shizu-san, you are the first person I found on YouTube talking about dolls in a respectful way. That's interesting that you say that. When you say respectful way, Marie Velez, do you mean other people have videos where they're dissing or making fun of the dolls? Or are you talking people that have videos that kind of, and I don't want to sound weird about this, but they're kind of using them in a explicit way? I'm curious what you mean exactly by the respectful way kind of thing. PMB Sakura says, is that the article? Which one? Did you find it, PMB Sakura? Because if you linked it, it didn't come up on YouTube. Or did you send it to me in direct message? Hold on. Because I know you have my direct message because we've chatted before. No, yeah, if you put it in YouTube chat, I don't think it comes up. You have to send it to me like from a DM or email me or something. But yeah, it doesn't show up on the live chat because it probably thinks it's spam or something. So you normally can't put links on there. Send it to my direct message on Instagram. Because that's the only way I'll be able to see it. It won't come up on the live stream, unfortunately. For whatever reason, links don't work on the live stream. I'm not sure why. Matt says, not here to plug my content, but I'd love to be on as a guest sometime. Let me finish my 100-day photography challenge first. My content is more doll photography related, but it might still be relevant. We'll see if Cough Syrup lets me remember this conversation tomorrow. Atsuki Lemon frequently does doll photo vlogs in public areas. I do sometimes as well. Oh yeah, I've seen some of your pictures because I remember seeing the 100-day photography challenge. Yeah, I would love to have you on as guest, not only to talk about your experiences in the doll community and everything, but also you're a good photographer. I like those pictures, man. Like, I like how you take the pictures, and I like how you hide, the stands and everything, and you edit them. Like, it's great. It's good stuff, man. Like, hit me up on a DM, and we'll work something out to get you on as a guest, because I would love to talk about it. Let me see. PNB Sakura sent it to me. Is this the article? Let me see here. I'm loading it up on my phone. Hold on. Did you really find it? Let's see. Hold on, I gotta Google Translate it. It's loading. Translate to English. Okay, it talks about Danny Chu. Sorry guys, I'm trying to find this thing. I don't know if this is... Oh, yeah. This is the article. You found it. Thank you, PNB Soccer. I was trying to find this article and I couldn't find it. Okay, you found it. That's great. I'm going to see if I can put this in the description of this video so that other people can look at the article. But it's pretty funny. This is the article because they link my video in the article. And you guys should definitely read it. You guys should read it when you get a chance. I'll put it in the description of this video after the stream. So anybody that wants to read this article, thank you PNB Sakura for finding it. I legit was trying to find it and I couldn't find it. You have better Google searching skills than I do. Let's see. Tempest says, regularly send me measure of close friendship in the 2020s. Oh, okay. That's what you meant by that. I thought you were talking about me being a meme. Yes. My friends that I send messages to, direct message. Yeah, we exchange a lot of memes for sure. a lot of memes. And darn, would have loved to hunt for the primary source article. Well, PNB Soccer beat you to it. Done, I sent it. Title is Taking Photos of Fashionable Japanese Dolls at Tourist Spots, a Sign of a New Trend. Yeah, there you go. Also, I could be a guest, but I would drone about how great Amelia... Dude, you can drone about Amelia as long as you're willing to hear my counter argument why ROM is better. Not REM, ROM. Because I'm a huge ROM fan, which we are very few and far between. Not a lot of people actually like ROM. Most people are REM fans, and then secondary comes Amelia. Sorry to say, but I think ROM has just got a bigger following. Nobody likes RAM. I'm the only one that likes RAM. Like, even fewer people like Beatrice. And I like Beatrice too. Marie Bless says, I love that you were a doll hobbyist yourself, talking about the dolls and the companies. All the other stuff was instead of people talking about the hobby like we are all weirdos. I mean, there are some. I think I have come across maybe like a video or two in the past about people doing an unboxing video about the dolls and saying like, I think I saw one about Yoko Littner, about somebody unboxing Yoko Littner saying that like, oh, this is a great doll. I really like it, but it's, it's like a one-time buy because I really like this character. And they were saying something like, I couldn't really get into this as a hobby because they're kind of weird, and the only reason why I like it is because my character, blah blah blah. And yeah, I've seen videos like that. So if that's what you're referring to, then I understand what you're saying. But yeah, I do. I honestly, I hope that comes across in my content, in my videos, that I'm an individual that I genuinely like this hobby. I really do, and I love the people that I meet through this hobby. And I've said it many times on my channel. I've been a part of many hobbies, and I still are, in a sense, are a part of many hobbies, like Transformers, GI Joe, cars, like real cars, not like Hot Wheels, like actual cars, anime, trading card games. I played a lot of trading card games, and I'm telling you, like, out of all the communities I've been a part of, I think I've made the most long-lasting friendships in this doll hobby, and I've missed the kindest people in this doll hobby. Now, again, in previous videos, I've always stated this: not everyone's gonna like you. Sometimes I meet people that just don't like me. Some people, it's just like that. But you got to keep pushing through. You got to keep pushing through, and it'll pay off in the end. It may not happen instantly. It may take a while for the payoff to come, but it'll come. You just gotta keep going at it. PNB Soccer says Rom is a respectable choice. Well, thank you, my friend. I love Rom. Rom is great. It's so hard to find Rom like collectibles because everything is Rem or Amelia. Like everything. It's so hard to find Rom stuff. It's very few and far between. The one Rom thing I really want to get, I haven't bought it yet. Not because it's expensive or anything. It's relatively fairly priced. I just haven't gotten it because I'm trying to find a good deal because I don't feel like paying full price. But there's a set of stuff that I like for figures. I don't know if any of you know about it, but it's called the Relax Time statues. And I have a couple of them here, like on my desk. So this is one. It's called the Relax Time. And let me change views so you guys can see this. They're called the Relax Time. And they're like anime characters that are in like loungewear, like stuff that you wear around the house but you wouldn't wear in public. And I know it's a little bit risque, but I think it's like tasteful risque. So I have this one of Rukia from Bleach, and there is one of Rom where Rom is in like this really big oversized t-shirt sitting on a chair, just kind of like just chilling. And I really want that figure, and I've seen it in so many different conventions and stores, but a lot of it is overpriced, so I just haven't bought her yet because I'm trying to find a good deal. Like this other one that I have Rangiku, also from Bleach. She's pretty cool looking. I really like the character. I just like this like loungewear look. I just think it looks really cool, like people just relaxing or whatever. So there's a ROM one that I really want. I just haven't gotten a chance to get it. Tempest says, when I come on, tangent ahoy hoy. That's why we get along so well, though, Tempest. Like, we love tangents. We go off on them. Matt says, Rom ahead of Rem. That's a hot take. Rem fanboys won't like that. I know they won't like that. It is a hot take. But I'm sticking with it. Rom is the best. Like, Rem is in my opinion, okay, here's tangent time. Rem is like your stereotypical, like, oh, I'm quiet and meek, but I'm also cute, and I'll stick with you because I'm loyal, blah, blah, blah. Rom, on the other hand, Rom is real. Rom keeps it real. Rom is loyal. Rom gave up her horn, okay, to protect Rem. She was more powerful. She gave up everything to protect Rem, okay? Rom also keeps it real with the main character. She keeps it real. She doesn't lie to him. She can be sometimes mean with him, but I think it's playful mean, you know what I mean? but she actually really cares. I think she's the real MVP of the show. Sorry to say, I know it's a hot take, but Rom is the best. Okay, and I know Rem fanboys are pretty pissed about that statement. Tempest says there is this Australian video article. These dolls have dicks. Pretty much sums up even the best intentioned outsider view media coverage. Oh my god, that title alone is already jarring. That title alone is definitely clickbait, because regardless of whatever they say in that article, good or bad, people are at least gonna open it to see what the hell that article's about. Like, that is a clickbait title if I've ever seen one. PNB Soccer says Rom Dolphy costs more than Rem and Emilia because she is rare. She is, because the Rem and the Emilias everybody bought. The Rom ones, like, I know scalpers bought the Rom ones hoping to turn a profit, and it didn't turn a profit, and I don't know what the scalpers did with the Roms. It's very hard to find Rom. Like, I tried finding Rom, I can't find her. And the little times that I do, she's super expensive. She doesn't sell. You would think that scalpers would like sell her at a cheap price because she doesn't sell. No, I don't know why. It's ridiculous. But yeah. Let's see. Matt says I have the Asuna Relaxtine, super cute. Wait, Matt, there's an Asuna one. Oh my god, why have I never seen this? I didn't know there's an Asuna one. No. Okay, hold on. I almost dropped her. Oh my god, heart attack. How do I type? Because Chitose's in the way. Let's see. Asuna relax time. No, there isn't. Is there an Asuna one? Is it the one where she's sitting down? I've never seen this one. Oh my god. Okay, so you guys can see. There's this one here. I don't think this is it. No, this is Asuna Roomwear. Dang, $177. It's too rich for my blood. I don't know if I see the relax time. See, there's the REM one. Here's a REM one of the relax time. I think the ROM one looks super classy. See, REM looks a little like on this one. I don't like the way she looks because she's got the. Oh, I'm sorry. Chat is like blocking the way for people that want to see this. Oh my god, what did I do? Okay, so the chat window is not that. Where's the chat window? I can't move chat now. Okay, there we go. So this one's the ROM one. I don't like the way she's posed. I think she's a little. She plays on the border of risque, I want to say. Let's put it that way. But the ROM one, since we're on this topic, is there a ROM one? Where's the ROM one? I think the ROM one looks much classier. Yeah, I can't find the Asuna one, but the ROM. Let's see. ROM relax time, right? See, I feel like this one is much more classier. Like, she's not really revealing anything, okay? Like, she's just kind of sitting there. She's fully covered. She's not really exposing too much like Rom is. Like, I think this one's much more classier, in my opinion. But I digress. I digress. Oh, where am I going with this thing? So yeah, but yeah, ROM relax time. That's my little tangent for that. Talking about ROM and REM. We got an ad coming in 20 seconds. Just letting you guys know. Matthew Nelson says, "Oh, cool. Didn't know that's what they were called. I have a couple. Some are just cute figures. Yeah, I think a lot of them are pretty cute, but they are called the Relax Time. That's like the series. All right, 5 seconds to an ad. I'm gonna just drink water. You guys hit that skip button, okay?" All right. Should be able to hit that skip button now. All right. Let me see. PNB Soccer says, "Who is Rem?" Just kidding. I have all three of the Dolphies. Working on a custom Beatrice MDD at the moment. Ooh, that sounds cool, PNB. I want to see the Beatrice. Matt says it might not be a relaxed time, but it's a similar style. Yeah, I think that's the one that we saw. It was pretty expensive. Tempest Strife says install doll swing chair from ceiling. Actually, I was thinking about that so that she doesn't like get in the way and she kind of just hangs. But I don't know. I gotta find a swing chair that I like. Matt says thought it was swing relaxed time. My bad. No, that's okay, Matt. I was just really excited. I was just like, oh my god, they made one. I want it. I'm gonna buy it. Anyways, that was quite the tangent. Let's move on. So I want to go back to this whole YouTube thing, right? So I got this video that I did for the Let's Travel, and then I had again this article that, you know, was a little flattering but not so flattering at the same time. You know, kind of thing that happened, and I was just like, you know, we'll just keep moving on. So I did. I just kept moving on. And then I ended up doing what we now know as the Doll Symposium, because 3-Minute Thursdays just couldn't be kept to 3 minutes anymore. And then we have, of course, Beyond the Doll. But you can see that like the views drastically change, right? Like my first episode of the Doll Symposium, 898 views. Okay, started 4 years ago. I can't believe that was 4 years ago. Damn. Started 4 years ago. 889 and 98 views. Most of my videos now, though, 150 to 200 views. So it drops. Like nobody's watching my content because, again, not everybody's gonna like you. Not everybody's gonna be with your, you know, agree with your style or my style of doing things. Same thing with Beyond the Doll. Beyond the Doll, 477 views for my first stream ever. I still average about 150 to 200 people, and that is my core group of people. That 150 to 250 people, you guys are the champions. You guys are the MVP. Because if it wasn't for you guys always tuning into my content, always chatting with me on live stream, always chatting with me in comments, I probably would have quit. I really would, because the whole goal of this is not only to spread the Dolly love, but it's also to make friends. I have no friends that live around me. Well, I shouldn't say no. I have now. But when I started this hobby, I had no friends around me that was into this doll hobby. I wanted to make friends. I wanted to convert more people into the Dolly love so that we could become friends and hang out and do more doll stuff together. But nowadays, you know, I have quite a number of friends now. I'm very lucky that live in my area that I can kind of talk to and hang out with whenever. But it wouldn't have been possible if I quit after that first attempt of doing, or I should say the second attempt of doing like videos on my channel. If I quit then, I would have never made those friends. If I quit then, I would never have met Tempest. I would have never met Batman Jackson. I would have never met My Lady Disdain, Magical Girl Kit Kat, Kitten Cat Shop, Lovely Day, like all these wonderful people. And then all of you in chat, like PNB Sakura, Matt, Matthew, Marie Velez, you know, like everybody that shows up like every week, like PNB Sakura and Luxaria and Yoshi Plays, David Canes, you know, like all these people that show up, man, you guys are the real MVPs of this channel. You guys are my friends. You're the whole reason why I keep doing this, because I love talking to you guys. I love talking about all these different topics and getting your opinions, getting your point of view, whether it be in chat or as a guest. You know, it's just fun. And I have doll friends. I have doll family, which is the goal of this whole thing. I'm not trying to be some big YouTuber. I'm not trying to make exorbitant amount of money from my channel. I hope, and I tried, and I wish that my channel would be self-sustaining, that the money that I put into it comes back somehow and I just break even. But no, I'm operating at a loss, but that's okay, because what I'm not gaining through monetary value, I'm gaining through friendships. And that was the whole goal to begin with anyways. So at the end of the day, I'm a winner, because I got a nice group of core friends that I always get a chance to talk to every week. So it's amazing. It's just awesome. This whole hobby has changed my life. But and again, that's why I'm saying not everyone's gonna like you. That's why this titled that, because if I let those first naysayers get to me, I wouldn't have made all these wonderful friends. I wouldn't be where I am today, you know? And that's why I want to encourage all of you that even though we all started in a different place, even though we all come from a different background or whatever have you, and we all have our own little challenges, you know, no matter how hard things are, just work up the courage to keep trucking and moving on. It's not easy. It is not easy. But if you stick with it and you keep trying, it will pay off in the long run. It won't pay off in the short term. I can guarantee you that. It's not going to pay off in the short term. I felt like it would with YouTube when I was growing my channel like by leaps and bounds. I was like, this is amazing. I should invest more money into this. It's not. You know, you're going to come off of that initial high and you're going to come crashing down at some point. And it's what you do after you fall that really defines you. And I know that sounds kind of cheesy, but it's true. Like, you won't know where you are. You won't be able to gauge where you are until you have a failure and you fall. And that really shows you what kind of person you are, what kind of determination you are, and how, you know, and it shows to other people that you want to be there, that you're willing to be there, that you're in it for the long haul. So, you know, as hard as it may be, and for however long it takes for you, because everybody's different, just build up that confidence over time and try. And if you fall, just get back up again. You got to keep trying, because eventually it will pay off at the end. And it may not pay off the way you expected it to be. Like with me and YouTube, like at the rate I was growing at the very beginning of my career, I thought I was going to be in the 100,000 subscribers. I thought I was going to be like this dull YouTuber that everybody knows and I get stopped randomly all over the world kind of thing. Like, like I was on cloud 9 when that was happening, because I never expected to get that many views. And then reality came crashing down. You know what I mean? And it's what you do after that that will define you, you know, for the rest of your YouTube career, your dull life or whatever. I don't want to say it defines you for your life in general, but like you just got to keep trying. Okay? And it will pay off in the long run, and it may not pay off the way you thought it was going to be, but that doesn't mean that the payoff won't be good. Like, I didn't think I'd be where I am today. You know, with all the friends that I have today, I never thought I would be able to meet Danny Chu or Mr. Shigeta from VODS. I never thought that I would make it to Japan and see these people over there in their habitat. I never thought I would be asked to be a guest at a convention. That was a crazy high. You know, I never thought I'd be asked to help create a doll like C2. Like, all these opportunities and all these things that happen because I kept trying. And I kept working at it. And no matter how bad it was or how much I failed or how great it turned out, like, I just kept moving. I just kept trucking at my own pace. And I've had my low points. You guys know. You guys watch this channel. You know the time I took off from YouTube because I got seriously burnt out. But I came back. I didn't just quit. I didn't just stop, like, for good. Like, I needed some time. I needed to gather my thoughts. I needed to relax. I needed to, you know, put things into perspective. And then I came back, and now I'm back. Will I ever take a break again? Maybe some point in the future, I might need another break. Who knows? But I'm still here. And because I love this hobby and I love you guys, and I'm just keep on going. So yeah, that's that. But that's mainly the gist I wanted to get across with today's episode. Like, it's already hard enough, you know, to meet people, and, you know, especially in this hobby, you know, don't let the bad instances get you down, because it will pay off in the end. You will meet people, you know, at some point, and it'll be great. It'll be great. You will make friends in this hobby, but you got to keep trying. Okay. You got to keep moving forward no matter how hard it is. It's like, another example is like me and Tempest and My Lady Disdain and Kitten Cat Shop. You know, we with the with the lead of Tempest Strife, because I have to give you credit. Tempest Strife has taken the lead and started it, and we're all just helping her out. But, you know, this Thy Geekdom Con thing where we have a doll meetup and our own doll booth at a con, it's small goings, but it's growing. Every year we see more and more people that come out to the doll booth, and more and more returning people that say, we saw you last year, or we saw you the first year, and, you know, it's great to see you again. Like, it's grassroots, man. Like, you gotta keep plugging. Even though it's small now, it'll grow. In time, it'll grow. And we're hoping that this following will grow to the point where we can get our own convention here. Although I think New York City DollCon might beat us to it, but let's see how successful it is, you know, because it is their first year this coming March, and I wish them all the best. I hope it grows, because we need a doll convention here on the East Coast. But if not, if it doesn't take off, if it doesn't work, I mean, you know, me and my group of friends, we're trying our best to start our own doll thing here on the East Coast, and hopefully it'll be good. Which, speaking of which, we are not the only game in town, okay? I think I said it in last week's episode. There is a South Carolina doll group, or North Carolina or South Carolina. It's the Carolina doll group that also is doing their own thing, where they are going to doll shows and having their own turnout for smart doll and vinyl dolls and things like that. So, you know, we're not the only game in town. Everybody is trying their hardest to keep growing this community, and it's so good to see. Like, we have the group in California. I think there's like 2 or 3 groups out in California that's trying to grow it. We got the group of people down in Texas, and those are only the ones that I know of. I'm sure there's more groups out there. I just don't know of them, and, you know, I want to find you guys so I can keep advertising for you guys, because that's something that I get a lot of questions of when I do panels or when I go meet people. They're like, "Oh, do you know of any doll groups or doll cons I could go to?" You know, people are still looking. It's not as easily accessible as we would all like to think it is, especially in other places. You know, maybe in Midwest, or, you know, in the mid north, I guess you call it, or even like the Southeast. Aside from the Carolinas, I mean, further southeast, like Alabama or Florida or something like that. Like, I don't even know if there's a community down there. I hope there is. I would like to think that there is, but I just don't personally know of them. And again, all around the world too. Wherever you are in the world, we have 1 or 2 people, I think, here that are on the live stream from Australia. I mean, I don't know if there is a prevalent doll group there. I think one of you told me before that there used to be, and there isn't as much. But, you know, if you guys really want to start something, you know, you gotta try. You gotta keep pushing. But that's only if you want to start something. I'm not saying you have to, but if you wanted to, you know, you could try and see how it works out. And if it doesn't work out, and if it's not for you, you know, there's no shame in quitting, because at least you tried. But if you tried and failed, but you want it to still go, don't let it get you down. Keep trying, and it'll pay off at some point. Hopefully. I'm hoping. I want to be of the mindset that it will pay off. But that's really all I got to say about that. Like, that was my whole reason for that topic about, you know, not everybody's going to like you, because it's true. It's just the fact of life. Not everyone is going to like you, and you don't need everyone to like you. You just need to find that core group of people that works for you. And you won't find those people if you don't keep putting yourself out there. As difficult and as hard and as scary as that sounds, you won't be able to find people unless you do it. And those people are in the same boat. If you're super, you know, filled with anxiety or shy, the other person that you could potentially meet in your area could be the same way. And you guys just never interact or never talk because both of you are too shy to even meet each other. You know what I mean? So it's not like, oh, this person's super outgoing and I'm super shy, so it's really hard to connect. They might be in the same exact boat as you, but somebody's got to make the first move, right? Like, somebody's got to build up the courage to make the first move. And you never know. They could be like such a good friend to you now. They could end up being your bestie. Who knows? You know, but you got to put yourself out there, man. You got to try. Katarina, welcome to the stream. Hi, welcome, Katarina. It's good to see you. Marie Velez says, I've been missing my DC Maryland, Virginia peeps terribly. Once I moved to Tennessee, it is a desert in Middle Tennessee. Well, Tennessee. How close is that to the Carolina group? I don't know if that's like within a reasonable driving distance. But do you have a Tennessee group? Maybe there is one. Maybe you just don't know about it. I honestly don't know. I'm not sure. Marie Velez says there is a fairly active group in Central Florida. They meet about every 2 months at Disney Springs. They are lovely. Oh, that's cool. See, like I said, I didn't know there was a Florida group. That's pretty awesome. So yeah, I mean, if you live in Florida, there's that group. And I like the fact that you said they meet at Disney Springs. So I'm assuming it's somewhere in Orlando because that's where Disney is. That's awesome. Because I know that the California group, they are based in Southern Cali. I think both groups are based in Southern Cali. And a lot of times when they meet up, it's either at Mitsuya, which is a Japanese grocery store, but the grocery store has like this big eating hall area where you can like gather up and hang out. And I know a lot of them have done Disney too, for their meets up. So I wonder like if the Florida group does that as well, because that's pretty cool. Like if you have somewhere cool like Disney to kind of hang out, that's pretty awesome. As expensive as Disney is, still kind of hanging out as a group with dolls at Disney is pretty OP. That's pretty cool. I don't have anything like that here, or else I would try to do something like that. Like the closest thing we have is like Great Adventures, which is like a theme park, if you're not familiar, because I don't know if people know about Great Adventure. I know they have like 6 other Great Adventures, I think, around the United States, but not everybody knows about it, I guess. Kind of like Busch Gardens is another one. But we have Great Adventure. Great Adventure is not really the type of place that I would think that you could have a doll meetup. It doesn't really lend itself to that. Like what I mean by that is like if you go to Disney, Disney has like a downtown Disney where there's just a bunch of shops and restaurants, and that's like a really cool place to hang out, I think, for like a doll meetup. But like if you don't have that and it's just an amusement park, there really isn't many places that you can kind of meet up and hang out in an amusement park. Plus you have to pay money to get into the amusement park, whereas in like downtown Disney, the only thing you pay for is like parking. Matthew says Arkansas here, Marie. Marie says woohoo. Yeah, they meet in Orlando. Yeah, that's cool. Like I would definitely, like next time I go to Florida, maybe I'll hit them up, meet up this Orlando group. That would be really cool. Disney Springs is the mall area, so you don't have to pay to go in. Oh, okay. So I've been there. I thought that was called Downtown Disney, that mall area. They got like a little like Legoland store there, I think. Yeah, I've been to there. That place is cool. That's definitely a cool place to hang out. I think that would be a cool place to hang out with dolls, for sure. And there's like food places there as well. And if I remember correctly, like there's like a lot of like areas where like they have like these islands where you can kind of display the dolls on. So that would be really cool. But yeah, I mean that's my message for today. That's my soapbox for today's episode. So I want to move on to topic number 2, which is about bots. But before I move on to that, does anybody want to talk anything or discuss anything about this whole like not everyone's gonna like you thing, and you gotta be brave and put yourself out there before I move on? I'll give you guys a few seconds because I know there's a delay from when you type the chat and I actually see it. So I'll give it a few seconds. But if nobody has anything else they want to add to that topic, then we're going to move on to topic number 2 for the evening. Get a drink of water while I wait. Oh, man. What a day. Again, thank you, PMB Sakura, for finding that article. I was looking for that. It's so cool that I have it now because I'm totally going to print it out. I'm printing out this article and I'm going to keep it in my scrapbook, which is what I should have done in the beginning, but I didn't. All right. It looks like nobody has put anything in chat, so we're going to move on. Matt says, those who mind don't matter and those who matter don't mind. Oh, okay. For some reason that's some like words of wisdom right there, Matt. At first like I was like, wait, what does that mean? And I had to think about it and I was like, oh, now I get it. I get it. Words of wisdom from Matt. Thank you for that. Okay. So let's move on to the next portion, topic number 2. So Danny Chu has posted this thing here. Oh, wrong one. He's posted this thing here. And maybe you guys have seen it. Maybe you guys haven't seen it. But he made a post on September 25th about the online store. So for those of you that don't know, the way it used to happen was Danny Chu would announce any and all drops on this account that you see here, where it's called @SmartDollLand. He'd make announcements. Hey, I'm going to do a drop tomorrow. Hey, the drop's happening now. Here are the links, blah, blah, blah. He would do this whole thing. Now, for whatever reason, Danny has decided to stop that. Now, I say for whatever reason, but essentially he gave a couple reasons. And I'm not going to dive into the reasoning. You guys can read it yourself on the reasons why he decided not to do it anymore. And he decided to do something he's calling stealth drops, which means he's not going to advertise that he's doing a drop. He's not going to advertise that this is going to be released or whatever at this date and time or whatnot, because he just didn't, at the time, I guess you could say he just didn't see the value or benefit in it. Or maybe he thought there was a better way to do it. So instead, he decided to do stealth drops, which means he would add things to the store and not announce it. And essentially, people that randomly go to the store and look at the things will have a chance to buy things. Or those that are more active, that check the store like every day, every hour of the day, or whatever have you, will have more an opportunity to buy something. Rather than him doing an announcement at this day, this time, and then the website crashing because everyone's trying to get in, and then everyone tweeting or making complaints that, oh, I tried to add it, it wouldn't let me add it because the website kept crashing and I missed out on a doll again. So like, there's all these different things and stuff happening. So he thought maybe stealth drops would work. Well, stealth drops didn't really work in the way that he anticipated. Now, before I continue with this conversation, I do want to put a bit of a disclaimer. What I'm about to talk about next is sensitive to some people. And I just want to put that warning out that maybe some of you don't want to hear this, or maybe some of you are going to be very sensitive to what you're about to hear. I don't know, but I figure I'll put the disclaimer out just in case somebody is sensitive about it. Maybe nobody is. I don't know. So, you have been warned. Now, these stealth drops have made it hard for certain individuals to even buy things now. For, let's take in part me. Even though I have met Danny Chu in person, I've talked to him plenty of times, I like to consider myself a friend of his. And I hope he considers me the same way. But either way, even though I'm a friend, I'm still just very much so a customer like the rest of you. Like, I still have to go through the drops, log in, pay my money for the thing. I don't get them for free as much as people think otherwise. I do it just like you guys. So I was very heavily reliant on the notices. When Danny Chu would put a drop and it was something that I wanted or I was really interested in, I made sure I was there for the drop so I can have my chance like everybody else to get said item. And I understand that a lot of people were complaining, and I understand why they were complaining about, not being able to get stuff because they couldn't get to they didn't see the tweet in time or the announcement in time, or the website crashed on them, or it wasn't accepting their credit card. I can understand the frustration. I get it. But I want to take, at least in my personal life or my personal situation, I don't have all the time in the world to keep checking the website. I really don't. Like, I work a regular 9-to-5 job, and because of the time difference in Japan, what's morning for them is night for me. What's midday for them is the middle of the night for me. So it's very difficult to keep things up without the posts, right? But Danny Chu decided to do away with it and do stealth drops. I didn't complain because there's no reason to. It's his company. He could do whatever he wants. And that's his prerogative, and I'm okay with that. I will just try my best to check the website regularly to see if there's something that I do want. But I do have to say, it is difficult for me that has a full-time job. I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm married, I have 2 kids, and that's a lot of work. Not that I'm complaining. I love my kids. But, they have activities. They have after school activities. They have evening activities. They have weekend activities, and I got 2 of these kids. So it's double the activities. And then, I need to spend time for myself to do my own things. I need time to spend with my wife, So I don't have all the time in the world to check the Smart Doll website every hour of the day to see if there's something that dropped that I like. So I like the announcements. Now, I'm not a fan of bots because I know that bots hurt websites, they hurt games, etc. Like I play Final Fantasy 14 and they get DDoS attacked a lot from bots. And it crashes the servers and then I can't play my game and it makes me frustrated because I want to play my game, but these stupid people keep attacking the website with these bots. Now, I don't know a lot about computers and electronics. It might seem that I do because I have this YouTube channel, but I really don't. Like, if I need something to do on YouTube, like fix a new computer or fix a new microphone or use a new program, I Google it or YouTube it on how to do it, and then I do it. But I don't really know. It's not like you can call me and be like, hey, I need help setting this up or I need troubleshooting. I won't know how to do it. Because I only know what I found in an article or in a YouTube video. That's all I know how to do. If you throw me a curveball, I'll be lost. So I'm not very tech savvy at all, okay? So I don't know how bots work. I really don't. I don't know how they work. Like, I don't know the logistics behind bots. I know the general understanding that bots are some kind of program that are used to do a bunch of things that is pretty much not good for the community, whether it's to crash websites, whether it's to steal people's information, things like that of nature. Like, there's always a negative stigma about bots. And I know a lot of people hate bots, but someone, and I'm not going to name names because I don't want to point fingers because they're a good friend of mine, but somebody created a bot for the Smart Doll website. And if you follow this bot, anytime a stealth drop hits the website, it'll give a notification to whoever follows the bot. So something dropped, I got a notification, and if it was something that I liked, I would sign on to buy it. And I was like, this is great. So the stealth drops, it doesn't matter. Like, I could still get some kind of notification. If there's something that I like, I can find it. I'm guilty of this. I followed said account because I don't have the time to just constantly check the website for the things that I want to see if they're in stock. The thing I didn't know, because I didn't know how the bots work per se. Like I said, I have a general understanding, but I didn't know exactly what they do. And I still don't to a point. But this article that Danny Chu put out is great because he explained in this article what happens and what goes on. And ever since reading this article, I have now unfollowed that bot. I have erased it, gotten rid of it from my stuff because I didn't know that by doing so, I'm contributing to the problem. So I'm going to read out this problem to you because I am not tech savvy enough to explain it to you. So I have to read it. So let me read it. So Danny Chu says, while bots have always crawled our online shop, the introduction of... I'm reading this because some of you may have not seen it. But if you've seen it already, please bear with me. The introduction of stealth drops has caused a noticeable spike in bot activity. These bots seem focused on detecting changes in product availability, leading to a situation that mirrors a DDoS attack. This is disrupting customers' ability to make purchases, even during non-release periods, with issues like the spinning PayPal ball, which I have experienced myself. The checkout difficulties is becoming more and more common. Why is my throat like so dry? We've identified several social media accounts that are not only tracking when products are in stock, but also when they sell out. The sheer volume of bot activity suggests significant resources are being invested in this effort. By the way, there's an ad in like 15 seconds. So before I read on, I want to just give it that time for the ad to pass so you guys don't miss what I'm saying or what I'm reading. All right. So in 4, 3, 2, 1. There's an ad. Everybody hit that skip button. Ad is inserted. Hopefully you hit the skip button. If you have a premium account, you're just hearing me repeat myself over and over. Hopefully you guys are back. Okay. So that should be enough time for you guys to hit that skip button. Okay, I'm going to continue. On top of that, we've noticed an increasing number of bots attempting fraudulent orders using fake credit cards, an issue that has escalated since we introduced direct credit card payments to tackle PayPal problems. Given these challenges, doing nothing wasn't an option. Some of you may have noticed dummy products popping up on the site over the years. These are primarily due to limitations in the Spotify platform that we use, which sometimes requires us to create fake fields to avoid problems like products being priced at $52,000. Some of these dummy products are created for Q&A testing, varying weights, etc., and others are meant to confuse the bots. However, they have occasionally confused humans too. I've been toying with the idea of turning these dummy products into collectible trading cards that you can hunt for and discover. I think that's just him just memeing. He's really just making fun. I don't think he's really going to make trading cards out of these things. Kind of like Magic the Gathering, turning a flaw into a feature. I'd love to hear your ideas on this. Managing these bot issues while ensuring a seamless experience for everyone has been a challenge, but we are committed to improving. Our goal is committed to improving. Our goal is to safeguard your shopping experience and protect the website from disruptions. The measures we put in place are intended to enhance the shopping process and maintain stability. That said, dummy products will likely always exist on the site, even for basic functionality. We'll do our best to keep them hidden, but given platform limitations, they may still appear. Maybe we'll even turn them into those trading cards. There's a more serious implication of these bots. Since their sources can't be verified, there's always a risk that a bot posted links on social media could be phishing attempts designed to steal your personal information. This is especially concerning given the amount of fraud in this hobby, including fake websites that have been used, that even used bots to clone our website. To counter this, we've decided to create a dedicated Twitter account for official product availability announcements at SmartDoll. We can't verify the legitimacy of bot-run accounts, and many of them are picking up on dummy products. To avoid phishing risks, we strongly advise against interacting with these accounts. The @SmartDoll account will be updated by a human. Blah blah. I don't. This is not talking about bots. This is talking about his new thing. Okay, yeah. So I think that's everything about bots. So essentially, what he's saying is that these bots are going in there and constantly pinging the website, right? It's constantly pinging the website for the slightest of changes. And I've seen it before on this one bot that I was following, that it popped up and said, now released Nami from One Piece Smart Doll. And I was like, what the hell? He's releasing them again? And then when I clicked on it, it brings you to like a fake page. So that's red flag number one. But red flag number two, because they're doing that, that's how you can get those phishing attempts. That's how you can get people like hacking your account or whatever, and you don't want to do that. So, as I said before, I didn't know I was contributing to the problem, and now I know better. But it does show that, I guess you could say, in people's desperation, especially of FOMO, which I guess I'm guilty of because I didn't want to miss out on any products that interest me. Not that I buy all the products, but the ones that interest me, I didn't want to miss out on it just as much as you guys don't want to miss out on it. And these scammers, and some of them are not. Like, I believe that my friend that made this program is not a scammer. He's a legitimate trying to help the community. I say he, but I really don't know their gender. But I think they're generally just trying to help out the community for people that want announcements. But whether unknowingly or unknowingly that they did this, it has now come to my attention that it is harming the website and SmartDoll as a whole and the company more than helping. So again, I have unsubscribed to that service. I'm not using it anymore, and I'm just going to have to go to checking the website. But that being said, because of this, Danny Chu has decided to do something else again. So now, instead of stealth drops, he created a new Twitter account. And the new Twitter account is going to be at SmartDoll. So I'm going to show it to you here. So here's the website. Here's the thing. So you have here at SmartDoll right here. And at SmartDoll is going to be used just for restock updates, which is funny because at SmartDoll Land, initially, the goal of at SmartDoll Land was to do just that, to just update everybody on everything new and when the releases are going to come out. And at some point in time, it kind of strayed from that and became basically a news outlet where he would show you prototypes, he would ask you questions, he would announce releases, he would announce drops, etc., etc. It was all these different things. So I guess it kind of got convoluted because that account was handling so many things rather than just announcing the drops. So now we have two accounts. So the at SmartDoll Land account that we all know and follow is going to stay exactly the same way it is. It's going to be essentially a forum or a news outlet where he just tells you what's going to be released, any kind of prototypes, what's going on in SmartDoll Land, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And this new account, which is called just at SmartDoll, straight up at SmartDoll, is only going to announce restocks. So, for example, if you wanted to buy Kanata and Anime and Cinnamon and it's out, when they restock it, it'll come on this account at SmartDoll, not at SmartDoll Land, right? So any restocks like restocking of bodies, restocking of hand parts, restocking of, I assume, Chaos as well, they will all come on the at SmartDoll Land account. And the other account, which is this one, which is the at SmartDoll Land, is going to be the account that's going to make all the announcements of prototypes, future projects he's working on, questions from the community of, do you like this or that kind of thing. All the normal stuff that we get from at SmartDoll Land right now will continue to happen as is. But any restocking of products that have been sold out or long sold out or recently sold out, when they come back on the store, they will only be announced on the at SmartDoll account. So hopefully that's explanation enough. But that being said, now that we got the logistics and the nuances out of the way of how to find your products from SmartDoll, going back to the whole thing about bots. So as I said before, it is a known thing that bots is pretty much a negative thing. Because even if the intention is not to crash your website, not to attack the website, but just to simply inform individuals of something that they want to be informed of, even with that, the nicest of intention, it's harmful to the person that's being botted, I guess. The company, the individual, because it causes them to have technical issues on their end, and which in turn will harm everybody else. So even though I guess you could say I should have known better, I should have understood this better, I will openly admit, because honesty is the best policy. I thought the bot thing was great for me and my purposes of being able to keep up with any kind of releases that I needed to get that gets restocked. So I did subscribe to it and use it. But it turns out, with more further education on the topic and explanation of what this is and what this does, doing so is harming the company and the community that I love so much. So obviously I have stopped using the service, and I want to, make a video about it or talk about it on here just to explain to those that may have been in the same boat as me, that thought it was just harmless and it was just a notification system, which may have been the intention of some of the individuals, but the ones that are trying to do shady stuff, it's harmful. So, and it's like, I guess you could say it's like anything else in the world. Sometimes even people with the greatest of intentions or the best intentions are the ones that cause the most harm sometimes. It's just another fact of life, and we all live it and have to learn from our mistakes. So, that's my can of worms for that. Like I said before, it's going to be a shorter segment talking about the whole bots thing, but I felt like it's something that needs to be discussed, since it's also very relevant It's very on topic for right now because it literally just happened. Like I said, this was posted, what was on the 25th, I think. Was it? Yeah, the 25th. So it was only like 3 days ago when this happened. So, take it for what you will. But now, we're going to have announcements again, and you might have to deal with the rainbow wheels or the PayPal spinning ball kind of thing, but at least it's, we're reducing the number of bots that are, I guess, attacking the site by not using these third-party notification systems. So just make sure that you follow both at SmartDollLand and you follow at SmartDoll so that you can get all the updates that you need in order to, be informed and purchase any products that you so desire that as they become available. Obviously, you still have to participate in the click war just like everybody else, just like I do. We all have to participate in the click war. It is the great equalizer. I get no special privilege. It's not like my orders go through first. I fight through the click war just as much as you guys do. So, just try your best to keep an eye out. The one thing I like to tell people is when you go, am I still on the internet thing? Yeah. So when you go onto these sites like at SmartDollLand, right, on X, this little thing here, okay, just so you guys know, right here next to following, okay, there's a button that looks like a bell. If you click on the bell, oh, wait, how come it's not giving me the option now? Wow, on live stream, it just fails me. Where is the thing? See, I want to show you guys, and now it doesn't show me. It's supposed to show you that when you click on the button, you have options. Why is it not giving me the options now? That's so weird. That is so weird. I'm trying to do it live on stream, and now it's not working. Just my luck. Because I really wanted to give you a visual aid. Let me try it on my phone. Does it give me the option on the phone? It does. It gives me the option on my phone, but it doesn't give me the option on my computer. I don't know why. Turn off notifications. More. This is, let's see, if I mute it. SmartDoll's been muted. Unmute. Okay, unmute doesn't give me the options though. It's going to give you an, okay, so, because I can't get it to work now. This is so silly. This is so silly. I can't get it to work now. Okay, so I'm just going to explain it to you as the best I can. When you go on when you're on Twitter itself, right next to the following button, you'll see the bell button. When you click on the bell button, it'll give you 4 different options. It'll give you none. Okay, you definitely don't want none because that means you get no notifications at all. Then you get the one that says all posts, which is the one you want to click on. If you click on all posts, every time Danny posts something, you will get a notification on your phone. You'll get a ding, an audible ding if your silence is off. If you're silent, you'll get a vibration. You can also do all posts and replies, which is the third option, but that one's more annoying because you'll get all the posts and then every time somebody replies, like if they say yay or woot or boo, you'll get those notifications too. And sometimes when he makes a post, you'll get hundreds of notifications because people are all posting their answers to his question. That's more annoying. You should just do the all post and not the all post and replies. And then the bottom one, the fourth option says only posts with live video. You don't want to click that because then it'll only show you the live video ones, which he barely does the live video ones. It's very rare that he does, but he still does them, but it's just not as much. So you don't want that. You want option number 2 that just says all posts. And then this way you'll get notification every time. I really am disappointed that I can't show it, like give you a visual aid on the account itself, but it's not working for me. So yeah. But that's the best way I can explain it. PNB Soccer is like, that's X for you, does not work. It's so true. X is so stupid. Like, I think that it significantly got worse when Elon Musk took over. That's how I really feel. But you know, it is what it is. I still think that regardless of how bad it's gotten, I still think it's the best notification system, because some people say, "Oh, we should move it to Instagram." But even with Instagram, I don't get every single post of the people that I'm following. Even though I do hit all posts, I still don't get them all. But for whatever reason, on X, when I hit all posts, I get them. I don't know. I don't know why that is. But yeah, you got to make sure that you're doing it the right way, and you get the right accounts, and you hit the right notification things. I know that sounds really tedious and probably annoying, but if you want to make sure that you keep informed, and I will always inform you the best I can every other Friday when I do the news. But obviously, things happen when it's not those Fridays, and maybe you can't wait for those announcements, and that's totally fine. So you should all get your own news here, because at this point in time, in the doll hobby, in the doll community, you guys don't really need me anymore to do the news. Like, when I started with 3-Minute Thursdays back in the day, nobody knew at that point in time. All the new people that were getting into the hobby, nobody knew where to look for this information. Nobody knew where you could find any of this stuff. So I felt like back in the day when I started that, my channel was more relevant, because news was hard to come by. Most people didn't know where to look. So it was very helpful to people. But I want to say that nowadays there's so many outlets for this. Like, there's so many other YouTubers that stream on different days other than my Fridays. There's so many other people that do notifications. There's so many other and knowledge is out there of where you can find this stuff. It's not like it's hidden. You know what I mean? Danny Chu is very active in advertising his products on social media. Even Volks is starting to do a little bit better. They've been posting videos a lot lately. They've been posting, new drops, or their version of drops. They've been posting like, "Oh, this is going to be a pre-order. Keep tuned to our website to find out more." Like, I feel like finding out news about this hobby is so much more easier to do nowadays. And when I do the news every other week, I feel like the only advantage you're getting from watching my channel from the news is just to hear what I have to say about the news. Because you guys can easily find this stuff on the day of that it gets posted. Because we all have smartphones nowadays. You know what I mean? We can all easily see a notification on our smartphone that is on our person pretty much all the time. And you guys will, I'm pretty sure that most of you, when you join my news segments, you already knew all the things that I was going to talk about. At least when it comes to the stuff that you're interested in. Like, some people might be into Smart Doll and they're not into Dolphy Jr., so they don't know the news because they don't follow it. And vice versa, or same thing with A-Zone. A lot of you maybe don't follow A-Zone, and the only A-Zone news you get is from me because you don't care to look, because you're not really that interested in A-Zone maybe. So for the most part, what I feel like, channels like myself or like My Lady Disdain that does the news, what you're really looking for and what you're really tuning into is to hear what we have to say about those news articles, because y'all already read it. Like, I'm pretty sure y'all already read those news things before you went and tuned into our shows. It's just what we have to say about them is what you guys are probably coming to see, because I know that's what I do. Like, when My Lady Disdain, does their streams on Mondays, I watch their channel to see what they have to say about it, because what they have to say about the news may be similar or vastly different from what I have to say. And always a difference in opinions or seeing things from a different angle always broadens your horizons and make you grow as a person and makes the hobby grow. So even if I said the same thing or I addressed the same news article as they did, I might have a different outtake or an outlook on it than they do. Or I may have missed something and they caught it, or they have missed something and I caught it. You know what I mean? Like, you're really tuning into what we have to say about the news that you already knew about. If that makes any sense, kind of thing. Like, I feel like social media has really ruined news outlets that focus mainly on the news, because it's just so easy now to get notifications and news about everything that you want, for the most part, at least. Maybe stuff that are super, super niche that don't have a social media presence, you probably would have a really hard time finding stuff because they have no social media presence. They have zero digital footprint. But for companies like SmartDoll and Volks and Azone that are starting, at least the latter two, are starting to up their game social media wise, like it's really easy to find the news nowadays. You don't necessarily need channels like mine or any other news channel that gives you the news about this doll stuff. It's mostly, a sense of community. You guys join to see what we have to say. You join to see what other people in the comment section have to say. You join to just join the rest of your doll family members to just converse and like have a fun time and talk, kind of like how we do now in live stream, and we talk in the live chats. We bounce ideas off of each other. Like that's the fun part really of it. It's not necessarily the essence of the news itself. It's that sense of community that you're getting from it. And that's a cool thing. That's the great thing about this hobby, and this great thing about this community is that we are all a part of this community's success and growth. All of us play a part. Whether you're a collector, whether you're a lurker, whether you're a chatter, whether you're a YouTuber, whether you're an Instagrammer, it doesn't matter. We all contribute to this beautiful hobby that we're a part of, and we're all doing our part in some way, shape, or form to help it grow. So yeah, another soapbox moment that I got on that I pretty much have to get off. Christina Kowald, welcome to the stream. Hi there, everyone. Sorry I'm late. Hope you're all well. Nah, it's okay, Christina. Come anytime, but it's great to have you here. I just got off my soapbox, if you couldn't if you couldn't tell about what I was talking about. But yeah, I think I think that if you are like me and inadvertently or mistakenly have used a bot that you thought was harmless, don't use it anymore. Because apparently it does hurt. It does hurt the community, and it does hurt. And I know it sounds like a no-brainer. It really does. Because you only hear negative things about the bots. It's like, oh, bots are attacking. So like, obviously if you use a bot, then you're just attacking. But I never really looked at it from the other aspect of, oh, bots can be helpful by giving you information, but by doing so, by just giving you information, it has to constantly attack the website to get that information. So it ends up being a negative anyways. Even if you wanted to use it for good, it ends up being a negative anyways. So yeah, long story short, tangent short, don't use bots. Please don't use notification systems because it hurts everybody. It hurts Danny and his team, and it hurts us, the community. But yeah, I, whether or not that needed to be addressed, whether or not that needed to be talked about, I don't know. But there it is for you guys in a nutshell. How many of you actually? You know what? You shouldn't out yourselves. I should be the only one outing myself. Like you guys shouldn't have to out yourself. But I know that a number of people have also subscribed to some of these bot things because you could see on the bot how many followers it has. So, you guys, I know some of you have done it. You don't need to out yourselves, but it was out of desperation of a need because you wanted to find the things that you want, and you wanted things, you wanted things to stay the same. Maybe you were just not a fan of change. Like I'm not a fan of change, but I know it's inevitable. Change is inevitable, and you just kind of roll with it. But yeah, it is what it is. And Danny Chews decided to do announcements again anyways. It's just now you have 2 different accounts to follow and not just one. So, yeah, there's that. Matt says, why doesn't Danny use an email sign up for specific products? Like if there's a doll you want that's out of stock, you sign up, you get an email when that specific doll is back. I believe he addressed this many years ago. Because this used to be a thing. It used to be way back in the day when SmartDoll first started that he used an email sign up. Some of you may remember this because it started around the time of Chitose. Chitose was the first one, I believe, that had this email sign up for notifications when Chitose's pre-order was going to go live. and this was the OG Chitose. So I remember subscribing to that email so that I got notification when Chitose's pre-order would come up. And I forgot the reason why he says it doesn't work. And I don't think that he's saying it doesn't work because the notifications didn't help. But I think he said something, and I'm not, don't direct quote me here. I'm trying to recall from memory because this was many, many years ago when he had this email system. I think it just took too many resources, if I'm not mistaken, because it required somebody to monitor those emails and then send out those emails. I guess with AI, you could probably charge an AI or some kind of program to do that for you, so a physical person doesn't have to do it. But I think back in those days, like in the early 2013, 2014s, it required more resources, and he just stopped doing it. And then he kind of moved on to the whole X thing, or Twitter back then, where you had to sign up for @SmartDollLand and stuff. Because it says right here, joined August 2017. And I believe Chitose was released in 2015? OG Chitose was 2015? Or 2016? Something like, I'm trying to remember. When was that? Actually, you know what? I'm gonna look it up right now because it's on my unboxing video. It was 8 years ago, so that was 2016. So 2016 she was released, and then @SmartDollLand came in 2017. So yeah, it was definitely a thing. There was definitely an email list, and at some point in time, he said it didn't work, and he moved on to Twitter. So we did have one at one point. Whether or not like he may revisit it, I don't know. I honestly don't know. But I believe it was resource intensive, and I think that's why he stopped it. But again, this is years ago when that happened, so I could be wrong. Let's see. Marie Velez says, I don't really like the Bird app. I like how she calls it the Bird app. I don't really like the Bird app, but I ended up opening an account again to keep the news from SmartDoll. I was the same way, Marie Velez. Before SmartDoll, before I got into the doll hobby, I refused to join Twitter. I refused to join Instagram. I did not want any of them. And I have them now, and I use them now because that's where the doll community is. So, and I only keep X now, so I can keep up with Smart Doll news from Danny himself. And I only keep it now because I made a lot of friends through X and Twitter internationally. Apparently, a lot of people in Asia still use Twitter a lot. I know most of us here in the United States, we use Instagram a lot. Like, our big thing is Instagram. But for whatever reason, Twitter is super popular in Asia, and they still use it a lot. So, I met a lot of friends. I made a lot of friends that still use Twitter from Asia, or X. So I still keep it around for that, so I can keep in touch and communication with them. Some of them use Line, so some of them I talk to from Line. If you're not familiar with Line, it's another messaging app, kind of like WhatsApp, but it's very, very popular in Asia. So a lot of my friends that live in Asia, I still communicate with them through Line or through Twitter or X. But I agree with you, Marie. Otherwise, I would not have any of these apps. I wouldn't. Matthew Nelson says, I'm probably the oldest here, LOL. I don't know. You might be. You might not be. I mean, none of us really give our ages. Like me, I always like to think I'm the old guy here, but I really, and no offense to anybody else, but I'm really not the old guy. I thought I was, but I really am. I really am not. For all this full disclosure, because I don't care. I don't want to out you guys, but for me, I'm 43, so I'm relatively old, I guess, compared to the majority of the community, which I think is in their late 20s and 30s kind of thing. But there's a lot of people that in my age group and older that are also in this hobby. But I'm fair. I would consider myself fairly up there, I guess. Matt says the JP doll community basically only exists on Twitter. Yeah. The Japanese doll community, you won't find them on Instagram. And you won't really find them on Facebook either. And if they're on Facebook, they're on the Japanese version of Facebook. So it's not like we have access to that unless you change your account to Japanese Facebook, so that you can access to stuff like that. Because that's another thing. If you didn't know, there is a separate server for a lot of different things. Like there's a Yahoo and there's a Yahoo Japan. So, I mean, Asia has their own set of things too as well. Oh, there's an ad, so I'm going to take a water break. There's an ad right now. Everybody hit skip. Everybody hit skip. Although I do have to say, if you let the ad play in its fullness, it does help out my channel more because you're watching the ad more, so I get more ad revenue money. Just saying, if you guys want to support my channel without donating any money, you could just watch the full ad, and it helps out the channel anyways. But, just saying, just a little tidbit, let's see. Wouldn't be surprised if I was amongst the youngest. I mean, you might be, Matt. I'm not sure. I remember watching the last moon landing. Oh, well, you're definitely older than me, Matthew Nelson. That's because I did not get to watch the last moon landing. So, Marie Velez says, we are all young at heart. Oh, that's so nice. We are. I definitely am. I mean, if you guys haven't noticed already, even despite the fact that I'm 43 years old, I still act like I'm 12. So I really do. Maybe that doesn't come off on the channel as much, but Tempest knows because we hang out in person quite often. I'm very childish in person. No. Let's see. Katerina says, you look very young, to be honest. That's that Asian curse. And I don't want to get too much in the whole like ethnic diversity thing, because I know some people get really sensitive about it, but there is like this quote unquote thing, this stereotype they say about Asians about like not aging and stuff. Like, if you were to subscribe to that belief, it tends to be somewhat true. Like, we Asians tend to look young, but here's the downside, right? If you want to think about it this way, what would you rather have, right? Because would you like to have a gradual progression of getting old? Like, with each year, you eventually get a little older and older and older till eventually you just look old, right? Because you are old. Or do you want to have it like the quote unquote stereotype? Okay. Now, I know this might set some people off, so please try not to be offended. I just trying to explain like a certain point, but like, which doesn't really help because I'm being offensive anyway, so I do apologize. But like, for Asians, the rumor is that like we look young for a very long time, right? And then there's a certain point, and for each Asian person, it's different. But there's a certain point that when you hit that point as an Asian, you go from young, and then overnight you're instantly super old. Like, there's no middle ground for Asian people. It's either we're young or we look super old. There's no in between. Like, there's no like fine wine. Like, as you get older, you look better or like more mature. No, for us Asians, the curse is you either look young or you just look really old. Like, there's no in between. There's no gradual progression, which in my personal opinion, a lot of my family is kind of like that. Like, now I'm outing the rest of my family. But like, I kind of feel like my personal family, I don't know about anybody else's, but my personal family is kind of like that. Like, a lot of my aunts and uncles when I was growing up, they always looked young. And then one day I just woke up and they just looked super old for some reason. I don't know why that is. I really don't. I don't. It's just something I thought was really interesting. I thought it was funny. But if anybody knows me, okay. So here's another, we're sharing now, right? We're sharing. So for people that like really know me, like on a daily basis, like we hang out a lot or whatever, right? I love jokes. Like, I love watching comedians. I love stand-up comedy. I love memes. Like, I love all that stuff. And I love them in any variation. So I'm really putting myself out here on the internet. But like, what I mean by any variation is I like them all. I like clean comedy. I like dirty comedy. I like stereotype comedy. I like racial comedy. Like, I like all the different variations of comedy. Like, I find all of them funny. But as long as you keep them in the fact that they are just jokes and they're not representative of reality, which is kind of hard to do because a lot of the jokes are based off of reality. Like, they kind of take reality into their jokes, and that's kind of what makes the joke work, though, because when you do that, it becomes relatable to people. Like, people understand. Now, if you make a joke, like, if I were to crack a joke like, oh, the Kelmorians are, always jiving on the Vidkarians, because they are using their hoplons for either uses. You're going to hear that and you're going to be like, what the freak is that guy talking about? That makes no sense. But if I were to say, hey guys, I went to Starbucks the other day and this guy lost his balance and like he dropped 2 cups of coffee and then those 2 cups of coffee spilled over and it hit a random cat and that cat freaked out and then jumped up onto the counter, and then when it jumped off on the counter, it knocked over the little button for the spray for the latte, and then it sprayed out and like melted all the coffee across the way. Like, even though that story may be funny or convoluted or whatever, you understand it because most of you have been to Starbucks. Most of you have probably ordered a coffee or seen someone order coffee. Like, it's relatable because you've seen it, you've lived it, kind of thing, in a way. Not that specific story, but, it's relatable. But if I start talking nonsense about something you've never heard of or seen before, it's not relatable, it's not funny. So, in order for a joke to work and be funny, you have to take a part of reality out and add it to your story so people can understand what you're talking about. And that's where I feel like the line for comedy is kind of drawn for some people, because some people can't take the joke for what it is and understand that it's just a joke and people are just trying to make fun. Some people just take it too seriously and they're just like, well, even though it's supposed to make fun, there's some things you shouldn't make fun of, which is true in a sense, because that's why there's that whole saying, like, too early. When people say that, how like people go like, was that too early? Like is that, it's too early? Yeah. Cause sometimes things are inappropriate and it shouldn't be said at that point in time or ever. And some comedians do cross that line, but some of them are just good, healthy fun. Like, I think one person that's good, healthy fun, that's pretty clean for the most part, is Trevor Noah. If you don't know who Trevor Noah is, Google him. A lot of his comedy is really funny, and most of it is clean, for that matter. Like, you don't have to watch a racial or ethnical or dirty comedian to find, some fun comedy. Like, there's this old guy called Jeff Allen. He's a really old dude. He's like 60 or 70 years old, but he's so funny. So funny. And his comedy is clean. He doesn't use curses. He doesn't use any dirty jokes or anything like that. Like, so I like it all. Like, I like it all. Like, I like all jokes. So things like that, like, that normally would piss people off, like stereotypes or racial jokes, like, it doesn't faze me personally. Like, I don't find any issues with it, but I know a lot of people do. So comedy's not for everybody. But what I'm trying to say with this whole long-winded story is just that I'm not easily offended. I like a lot of things. So if you guys wanted to say anything to me, I can take it. is all I'm saying. It's like, you want to discuss something with me, I'm cool with it. Like, I could discuss anything. Like, I'm game for anything. I am not an easily offended person. Do some things hit my heartstrings and I have to talk about it? Yeah, and that's why I have this YouTube channel. Like, when something happens in the adult community that affects us all, that makes me mad, I talk about it, But, I try to have a healthy conversation about things. I try to make it a point to have a healthy conversation, because even if something makes me mad and I fly off the handle, I'm like, what the hell? What is going on with this thing? I always try to remind myself to relax. Maybe I'm taking things out of context. I need to know the whole story before I actually judge, what is going on. Because sometimes it could be just a misunderstanding. If you don't know where the other side is coming from, if you don't know the backstory and all you're seeing is a clip of something or a snippet of something, you really won't understand it. Like right now, like, I could say something right now that's totally like soothing and relaxing and innocent. And if you just take a clip out of it and just randomly insert it somewhere, it could sound totally dirty. Like, I think I used this example before. The SNL did a skit Saturday Night Live, for you people that are international that may not know what it is, it's like a skit show. They did a skit where they took a song, like a regular song, like let's say, I don't know, Can You Feel the Love Tonight by Lion King. They could take that song, and if you bleep out certain words, innocent words like the or love or whatever, just innocent words, if you bleep them out and you listen to the song with those bleeps, it can sound like a totally dirty song. Like you could totally change the tone of the song by just adding a bleep. So it's the same thing. Like if you don't know the full story and you're only looking at it in bits and pieces, it's really easy to judge and judge wrongly. So that's why I always try to make it a point to give voice to all the sides as best as I can, to get all the information, understand where everybody is coming from before you fly off the handle and judge something, because you never know. You know, you might be getting mad for no reason. You just didn't understand, you know, something that was going on. But again, that's my soapbox. I you know, Tangent King. I mean, you were in the collegiate of tangents, so you guys are learning something, at least about me. Let's see. PNB Sakura says, I use NordVPN and set myself in Japan to look up some stuff because of the region searches. Yeah, region searches are a big deal, for sure. And if you know how to use stuff like NordVPN or some other things where you could change your region and see different things, you could see like the other countries around the world see things differently than we do here in America. And if you use those VPNs to lock yourself in a different region and just see what their news is like and their programming is like, it's definitely eye-opening for sure. Matthew Nelson says, most people think I'm in my early 40s. And he likes George Carlin. George Carlin's another good comedian. He's a great comedian. Casey says, I joined Xiaohongshu, which is a Chinese SNS, to see more content from the Chinese side of the hobby. That's awesome, Casey. That's something I really want to learn how to do, because I know that other places like China and Korea, Singapore, what else, other places like around that region that's really big in dolls, like they have their own doll communities and they do things either differently but not so differently. But again, another thing that is really great to see from those communities that you may not have access to using international or USA versions of Instagram or Twitter or whatever, is the fact that you see like a lot of good creativity from those people too. Like you watch Korean, you look at Korean stuff, you look at Chinese stuff, like for their doll cosplays or their customized doll accessories or clothing, they got some really cool stuff. And that what lends other people to like shop on things like Taobao or Tea Tree to try to get some of those cool things they've seen from those. So I really admire that, Casey, that you were able to join that Chinese SNS and see those things. Like I just don't know how to do it, but I think that's really cool. I would like to learn at some point so I could see those things. Christina Qualt says, have you seen the Deadpool and Wolverine? It is the funniest movie ever. Everybody keeps telling me that, Christina. No, I have not watched it. And the reason being is because I'm waiting for it to come out on stream on the Disney Plus channel. I for the most part, I have stopped going to movie theaters to watch movies on release. Like at least here where I live, like watching movies has gotten really expensive. It's about like $20 to go see a movie now. $15 if I see it on matinee. It's just really expensive, and I don't feel like paying $20 to go see a movie when I could pay $20 or at least put $20 towards my next doll outfit purchase. That's kind of, I measure all my expenses in doll expenses. So when I see other things, like if people are like, hey man, you want to go out to the bar tonight? And I think about it, well, if I go to the bar, I'll probably spend like $40 or $60, between drinks, food, and tip, and then gas to get there. That $40 or $60, that could get me new Smart Doll jeans for my Chitose, because Chitose could always use those new jeans that haven't been released yet, those big straight leg jeans, and I'd rather have that than go out to the bar. So yeah, I've kind of stopped going to movie theaters. The last movie I saw was the new Aliens movie, and the only reason why I saw that in theaters is because it was like a friend's birthday, and like everybody wanted to go hang out, and that's one of the things they wanted to do. And I was like, all right, well, I really like this friend. We're good friends. I'll go. But normally on my own, I just don't go to movie theaters anymore. I only do it if it's like a social thing. Katarina says, I'm 23 and I haven't grown or physically aged since I was like 13, which I'm fine with because bleep out adulthood, I'm gonna play with my dolls. Adulthood ain't all that bad, Katarina. It gives you the ability to be able to buy and have fun with these hobbies. Barbie Witch, welcome to the stream, Barbie Witch. What's going on? Christina Kowal says, but don't use the super scary movie because we don't want you freaked out. Listen, I actively avoid scary movies. Let me think. The only scary movies that I actually enjoyed that I watched is I guess Aliens, but Aliens doesn't really count as scary movie. It's more like sci-fi thriller. But the only movie that I watched that I guess could be considered scary, but I guess it's sci-fi thriller also, is The Quiet Place. I really enjoyed Quiet Place 1 and 2. I really like those. My wife thinks that they're scary movies. I think they're more thrillers than scary movies. Like what I think is scary movies is something like Halloween or Nightmare Before Elm Street or The Stand from Stephen King. Like I think those are scary movies and I actively avoid those. Like I don't want to watch those because they freak me out and I won't be able to sleep. Let's see. Barbie Witch says, I had a high school teacher who was all about reading several different takes on an issue. And that's great because that's what you want. Like you want to see all different sides. You don't want to be one dimensional and only see one side and only think that the world believes that one side when really it's not true. The world sees things in different lights and different views, and sometimes they're conflicting views, but sometimes they're just another way of seeing something great. It doesn't necessarily always have to be a negative thing. It's great to see other people's views, other people's perspectives, and I try to preach that as much as I can on this channel. Katarina says, in my area, you can go to date night on Tuesdays with someone, and it's cheaper. Date night because you're splitting the bill, or date night is an actual thing that's made to be cheaper? Like they advertise like a cheap, outing experience. Either way, I'm married, so I don't have a date night. I pay for everything, or my wife pays for everything because our monies are one. So even if I offer to pay and I'm like, hey, I'm paying, it's coming out of both our paychecks. So there's that. And we have kids, so we don't have a date night. I have no babysitter really. So if I'm being honest, and please, this is not a pity post, but my wife and I have not had a date night in years. Literally probably 14 years. because we can't go on a date night, because who's going to watch the kids? I have no babysitter. I have zero babysitter to watch the kids. So when we try to do a date night, like let's say anniversary, like when my wife and I have an anniversary dinner to celebrate our anniversary, we go with the kids. Like we go to a restaurant, we bring the kids with us, and we celebrate our anniversary as a family. Like my wife and I, we don't have date nights. It would be nice. I would really enjoy to have a date night. I would love to have one where, we both get dressed up. We go to a nice restaurant, have a glass of wine or something, but we don't do that because we can't do that with the kids. So I'm looking forward to the day when both my kids are old enough to have their own lives, and maybe my wife and I can have an actual date night. And at that point, it'll be cute because it'll be two old people trying to go on a date, and most people think that's cute anyway. So, Barbie Witch says, the only movie theaters I will go to now are the swanky ones with comfy chairs and tasty food. Dude, Barbie Witch, I just saw a post on Instagram about China has a movie theater that does hot pot and movies. Like, and I saw the picture. You're in a movie theater. You have the leather reclining seats like you normally do, but then it has this tray that comes out and over your lap that has like a hot pot in it, and you could eat hot pot while you're watching the movie. And I was like, this is crazy. Katarina says it's an actual thing at the cinema here. Oh, that's cool, Katarina. I mean, maybe we have it here in our neighborhood too. It's just I don't know about it because I don't get out of the house. So maybe that's why. Barbara says it's helpful to see all the takes on an issue, even if you don't agree with them. Living in a vacuum chamber doesn't do you any good. Absolutely, 100% agree. For example, you could go on a date, but you could also have a date at home. Yeah, I mean, we tried. Like, I tried doing like a home date where like I tried cooking dinner for my wife, but it's not the same because, you know, I mean, the kids are still there, which I love my kids, you know, but a traditional date night with just me and my wife is just not going to happen. It's just not. Katarina says, if you weren't such a far drive away, I would babysit for you so you can have your time with your wife alone. Aw, that's nice of you, Katarina. But yeah, I mean, yeah, we haven't had a date night. It's just not a thing for us. Barbie Witch says, you could tail your kids. Oh, you could take your kids or leave them at home with the window cracked open. In the 80s and the 90s when I grew up, yes, you could do that. But in today's society, if I were to do that, they would call DIFUS on me on a heartbeat for child abuse. Like, you can't do that nowadays. I grew up doing that. My parents did that to me. Like, that is a regular thing back in the day. But now in today's society, you cannot do that. Like, you will get in trouble with the law. They'll take your kids away. You're going to go to jail. Like, you can't do that in today's society. Times were different when I was growing up than they are now. Oh boy. All right, so we've talked a lot today, and I think we had a lot of good conversation, a lot of questions, and you guys really chimed in on today's topic. I really enjoyed that. I had a lot of fun. But all good things must come to an end. We've been streaming for almost 3 hours now. So before we leave, as always, I do want to talk to you guys about my pick for this week. And that brings us to Shizu-san's Anime Corner, which I want to share with you guys. So there's a new season of anime. We had actually the new season's almost over already now. We're in the middle of it. We're gonna get to winter soon, but the fall season has a lot of really cool shows. I haven't got a chance to watch all of the ones that I want to watch, but I'm gonna show you one here that I started watching. I haven't finished it yet, but so far I'm really invested. I really like the story. So let's talk about that, right? All right. Where's my hold on. Wrong button. Okay, here we go. This one. Yay! Oh, chat's in the way again. Okay, I'm gonna move it over. I'm gonna move you over, chat, somewhere here. I guess I'll put it right here. Okay. So we are here for Shizu-san's Anime Corner, and today the anime is called "Why Does Nobody Remember Me in This World?" That's right, people. I'm going back to my roots. It's another isekai, or at least I think so. I haven't finished the show. So the show kind of lends itself to sound like it's a fantasy show, like it takes place in a fantasy world. And I haven't finished the show, but it kind of feels like it could be an isekai. So I don't really know if it's an isekai yet, but it seems like it so far. And you'll find this out in the very first episode, so I'm not spoiling anything. You're going to get a lot of hints in the very first episode that it could be an isekai, but the way that the story plays out, it kind of seems like it's not an isekai also. And it also depends on your definition of isekai. So there's a lot of contention in the anime community of what counts as an isekai and what counts as just like, you know, someone traveling from, let's say, you know, the United States to Japan. Japan's not another world. It's all part of the same world. It's just a different culture, a different ethnicity. So some people like argue things like that. Like Sword Art Online doesn't count as an isekai. There's a huge argument on whether or not Sword Art Online is an isekai. Some people say yes, some people say no. I mean, it depends where you are. So in this one, for Why Does Nobody Remember Me in This World, even the title alone makes it sound like it's an isekai, like he's in a whole nother world. So that's all of this put together leads me to believe that this show is an isekai. But when you're watching it, there are subtle hints that make it feel like maybe it's not an isekai, so to speak. Like you're not whisked away to another world. It's more like a different kind of place, but it's hard to explain, and I don't want to give away spoilers or anything. But long story short, this show's really good. I'm really invested to it, and I really enjoyed it so far. I watched the first 4 episodes, and I'm hooked. So, okay, let me put it to you this way. Quick recap. The story starts with the main character, which is the guy you see in this picture here with the black hair. The main character is a member of the military, and there are 5 races in this world: the humans, the demons, the celestials like angels and stuff like that, the spirits like ghosts and things, and then the mythical beasts like what counts as a mythical beast, like the dire wolf or like the bugbear or something like that, like mythical beasty kind of things. And those 5 races are at war, and he's part of the human race. And then something happens, and he wakes up, and he's in a world where the humans have almost all gone extinct. And he's trying to figure out what the hell is going on, and who won the war, what time frame he's in, or whatever. And it only gets more complex from there, because they keep throwing you curveballs. Now, again, you guys might watch this and be like, no, I don't know what Shizu-san's talking about. It's very straightforward, and you could easily see where this show is going. That might be the case. But for me, in my weird, tricked out mind, I'm on this journey. Maybe that's what makes isekai so enjoyable for me, is that I'm just easily swayed by all this mysticism and things that they throw at you that I feel like, ooh, it's new, when really it's not. But yeah, it's a really good show. It involves him as the main character. It involves this blonde girl here who is the secondary main character, where she becomes his like right-hand girl or partner in crime. And they work together to figure out what's going on with the world. But it's really good. And I don't want to say any more because 1, I only watched half of it, so I don't really know the full story yet. And then 2, I don't want to give any spoilers away because a lot happens in the first 4 episodes. Like, it's not like one of those anime that's like a slow burn where like you could watch several episodes and you're kind of still in the same area. No, each episode, a lot takes place and a lot happens, and it moves fast. It moves at a fast pace. So there's a lot that happens between episode 1 and 4, and I don't want to spoil too much. So that's the best I can give you, is that there's these 2 people. They're quote unquote in another world, so to speak. And and the reason why it says, why does nobody remember me, is because they knew all these people in their original world or lives, and then when they woke up in this other place, those people are still there, but it's almost like they're in a different like timeline. Like they don't recognize them, they don't know who they are, but everything in the world is running like backwards than what it was in where they came from. So it's not like a totally different world, like oh my god, I'm like losing my thought of what the name was. Oh no, what is the name of that show that I feel like everybody would know when I say the name? Escaflowne, that's what it was. So it's not like Escaflowne where the girl is whisked away from modern day Japan and she goes into a totally different fantasy world. Like he's whisked away from his world, so to speak, to the same exact world that he was in. The only difference is nobody knows who the hell he is. Like they all got some kind of amnesia or something, and they don't know who he is. So it's interesting. I think it's good. It could be total like garbage from episode 4 onwards. I don't know. I can't speak for it. But from episode 1 through 4, I'm pretty hooked. And again, I say it all the time. If you like my recommendations I've given you thus far, you're probably gonna find this one enjoyable at the least. If you don't love it, you'll at least find it somewhat enjoyable to watch. But that is my recommendation for today's episode of Beyond the Doll in Shizu-san's Anime Corner. It's called Why Does Nobody Remember Me in This World? You can find it on Crunchyroll, but I don't know if it's on any other streaming service because I didn't look. But you could definitely find it on Crunchyroll if you go to Crunchyroll. But yeah, that's everything. So we're going to do an ad break in 10 seconds. I'm going to get my final drink of water, and then we'll end today's stream. So that's 2, 1, ad starts now. Oh, thirsty. Okay. So, all right. So, like I said, this is the end of today's episode. I really hope that you guys enjoyed today's episode. Like, it's a very personal episode for me, I guess you could say. But also, I think it's in my humble opinion, I think it's a good advice that I think a lot of you might already be doing, or maybe you didn't know about, and maybe you'll try it out. But I hope today's episode you found helpful or informative, or at least maybe agree with it because you've been through it, kind of thing, and you're still going through it. But I just hope that this is something that you guys can take to heart and maybe hopefully use it, and maybe it improves your life, not only in the doll community but just in general. Maybe it helped. I don't know. I'm not classically trained academic in psychology or sociology or anything like that. Like, I have no basis other than just my own life experiences. So I take it for what you will. I'm not a professional or anything, but this is just how I feel from my quote unquote 43 years of living and experiencing different things. So I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope you got something from it. And overall, it's just nice hanging out with you guys every Friday. I really enjoy hanging out with you guys. It's a lot of fun. So that is the end of today's episode. Next week, we have the Doll Symposium. So it's going to be a news episode. As far as I know, we are on track to be having the Doll Symposium next Friday. Like I said before in previous streams, this fall into December is going to be a little wonky. There may be some Fridays I'm not able to stream due to familial activities and schedules for my kids. But if there is a definite date when I know I can't stream because I have to be at a game or something or some kind of practice, I will let you guys know ahead of time. But I'm pretty sure next week on Friday we will still have the Doll Symposium on time as always. I'm trying to think any last minute announcements. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't. Yeah. So I think that's pretty much everything. Sorry, I had to think about that for a second if there's anything I needed to mention. But yeah, I think that's it. That's the end of today's episode. So again, thank you everybody for coming. I really appreciate each and every one of you. You guys are the best. So thanks for everyone for coming. As always, I am your host, Shizu-san, and my beautiful assistant over here is the very lovely Chitose. So please make sure to hit that like button if you like today's video. Subscribe if you haven't already so you get any notifications of any upcoming stuff that I do. And if you found this helpful, share it with friends. Hit that share button and share it to whoever you think would benefit from it or would just like to hear a good podcast. But thanks again, and I will see you guys in next week's episode. Bye.
Been thinking of who I am. Am I enough if I'm not a man? 'Cause I've been caught in between the masculine, the feminine. What does it even mean? Thinking that I am wrong, feel that I don't fit in. Words are not big enough to explain who I am. Why make it so hard? Why I'm falling through? 'Cause that shit ain't true. and judge me and say that I am unnatural when I clearly was made this way. Why you're so emotional? Huh? You only see what you're thinking. Clearly my world is bigger. Look into my eyes, looking through my damn eyes. Why make it so hard? Why I'm falling through? Cause that shit ain't true. Just one of us, like one of us. You're one of us, like one of us. Acting like I'm crazy, just one of us. Look at me, tell me like one of us. Push it up, turn it. You're one of us. You'll be just fine, and I'll be like one of us. You are just one of us. You are just one of us. You are one of us. Just one of us, like one of us. You're one of us, like one of us. Acting like I'm crazy, just one of us. Look at me, tell me like one of us. Push it up, turn it up, you'll be just fine, and I'll be like one of us.